This is The Gorge. It's a podcast where my friend Sarah and I talk about what's happening in the world of video games.
The Gorge is brought to you by Audible. To get your free trial of an audiobook of your choice, go to audibletrial.com/gorgecast for your first month of Audible for free, and you get one free audiobook. The one I'm going to recommend is one I recommended a few weeks ago, which is Joe Hill's Strange Weather, only because I picked it back up. I read the first two stories, and they, horrified me. They're so good. And I picked it back up because I had to take a break after Loaded, because Loaded, terrified me so much at, an existential level. And the last two were also extremely good, but not as good as Loaded. So I'm still going to recommend that one. It's a great book. You should pick it up. He's Stephen King's son, and nobody knows that because he goes by a pseudonym. But he looks exactly like his dad. That has nothing to do with Audible, but you should look up a picture of Joe Hill right now. He is literally a carbon copy of his father, except he grew a big bushy beard to try and hide it, and it didn't work. So yeah, go to audibletrial.com/gorgecast. That's right. I didn't screw up the link for your first month of Audible for free. And now that the ad read is over, you should all know that I extremely fucked up the ad read the first time through. We actually had to restart recording because I screwed up the ad read so bad. And literally today I was in another Discord chat talking to somebody, and Shia, who is in our personal Discord, was recommending the podcast, which, thank you, Shia, I love you, was recommending the podcast, and was like, it's good, except that Sarah doesn't know how to do ad reads. Which is literally why I made you restart it, because I wanted to be get it right. For once, I wanted to just get it right. So, normally I would have left it in, but I was like, no, this time it has to be good. I can't show my ass. So I did it. I got it right. So, Ben, this week is another roundup. Is that not right?
Yes, that's correct.
Cool. I'm excited. Do you want to just hop right into it?
Yeah, we're doing this in the middle of the month because we're not prepared for our next game that we're doing.
I have this problem called an extremely involved family who love me dearly, and you're like, Sarah, that doesn't sound like a problem. You're wrong, because it usually means that it's a lot of people will just be like, hey, you want to hang out? And I'm like, I can't really tell you no, but I also really need to play this video game.
I can't tell them I need to play a video game for my internet radio show.
Yeah, it's it doesn't work like that, man. So, unfortunately, and plus I also had a bachelorette party to go to this past weekend. I've been busy. So, we had to kind of shuffle things around. That's fine. There's still plenty of news to talk about. We
did, our last one very early in the month, so we're just kind of buffering until we can start it at the end of the month.
Right. One day we'll get our schedule actually in order, but I think we say that every single month.
It's fine.
It's fine. So Ben, what have you been playing?
So I've been doing a few things. Nothing really super significant. Melissa and I watched The Witcher.
Oh yeah.
That's really good. If you were let down by Game of Thrones and you want another show that's just as violent and sexy, The Witcher's right there, and it's better.
Because it's even sexier, because it has Henry Cavill in it. And
it's also about characters that aren't complete amoral douchebags.
That's true. That actually is true.
There's characters that you can, root for, and you don't feel weird about it when you think about, oh, wait, what did they do in Season 1? Oh, yeah, that's right, he pushed a child out of a window. So he wouddn't blab about having sex with his sister. All right,
Jaime Lannister did nothing wrong.
Maybe I shouldn't root for this character as much as I am.
You leave Jamie alone. He was great until they fucked him up.
But no, The Witcher is very good. It's very funny. The characters are all really endearing and charming. It's got a badass lady Night Queen who is fucking awesome.
Awesome. Sign me up.
So that's really, really good. Season 1 ends, or it's over, and they already confirmed Season 2.
Of course.
It's also got one of the most banging insert songs to ever, exist.
A song that everybody cannot stop singing, myself included. I haven't even watched the show yet, but somebody was like messaging me like, yo, have you heard this? And I like turned on, I'm like, what the fuck?
Toss a coin to your Witcher, like you hear it in the episode and your first thought is, oh my god, so many nerds on YouTube are going to cover this song.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
there's going to be 800 different versions of it, including, I swear to God, almost certainly a heavy metal version.
Oh, there's going to be... Just search for Toss a Coin to Your Witcher and scroll down until you see one that's not epic rock version. Like,
shot for every time.
Weed through all the nightcore and hope you can just find, like, I just want a rip of the song.
Just give me, like, a normal version of the song that isn't, like, a dual mix of both or something like that. It's already been mashed up with Undertale music, I'm sure.
Of course. It's out there somewhere.
It's fine.
Witcher's really fucking good. Henry Cavill fucking killed it, and also killed his...
Even with this cheap wig, God bless him.
You get used to seeing it.
Yeah, but I saw pictures of it on the internet
last
night.
The early shot, like the early promo shots were like, ooh, that's not good. But then you kind of get used to it as the episodes go on, and you don't even really notice it anymore.
Yeah, I noticed it when I was I saw a picture from an episode the other night. I was like, oh, Netflix.
Oh,
come on, guy.
Besides, you're going to be too distracted, staring at his giant muscles that destroy his costumes.
Yes. His sweaty, oily body in a leather costume, sword fighting. I'm like, yay!
Henry Cavill was too jacked for our flimsy Netflix leather outfits. He kept bursting out of them like the Incredible Hulk.
He just flexes his way out of his costume every day. I like Henry Cavill because he is a certified big fucking dork. You know, the story about him getting the Superman role?
No.
Oh my god. So, he almost missed the call from WB because he was in the middle of a WoW raid.
God.
Yeah, he was doing a WoW raid and his phone went off and he's like, I'm not picking that up. And then he thought about it and he's like, I should pick that up.
He's like, wait a minute, I'm Henry Cavill, famous actor.
Yeah. So
I should probably check that.
I should probably answer that. No, he said the guys he's doing the raid with were the first person, the first people to hear, which is just incredible.
Can you imagine being in Henry Cavill's guild and you're doing some raid, or you don't even fucking know that it's Henry Cavill. You're just doing a raid with some guy and he's like, BRB, and he gets back and he's like, yeah, I'm Superman.
What?
And you're like, that's great, Henry. We got to beat this boss first.
And then you think about it later, and it gets announced on TV, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
You're like,
"Yeah, he's the real deal."
You're like, "Wait a minute, is that Deathslayer 69?" That voice sounds familiar.
Oh, it's amazing. Good for him. Good for him. He's proof that we can all just be, we can be jacked and also play The Witcher, which is cool.
There's that fucking interview where someone's like, oh, Xbox or PlayStation? He's like, PC.
PC? It's like, oh my god.
Oh, okay.
You're the real deal, bro.
Oh, wow. It's like, Henry Cavill takes, Vin Diesel plays D&D and, escalates it.
Oh, he, apparently walked around, he was just, wore his costume around his house.
God.
So that it would look more worn. I'm like, yes! Good! Awesome. We love a man. We love one man in a bad white wig.
I love celebrity stories when they play a famous character like that, a superhero or a video game character, and they're like, oh yeah, talking weird stories how they get in the role, John Bernthal getting into the role for Punisher.
Oh really?
He told the story about how he goes to a comic store and he's looking at Punisher stuff and he brings a stack of Punisher comics.
Oh my god!
And
awesome.
and the guy behind the counter is like, yeah, you don't want these. And he's like, what? What?
Why?
Okay. And he's like, no, you read this, you read this, you read this, and you read this. And he's like, okay, sure.
Oh my god!
And he says, the guy looked him dead in the eyes and says, don't fuck this up. And then the interviewer asks, so did he just give them to you? And he says, no, I had to pay for them.
You're a rich celebrity, dude. You've got to pay for them. Man,
Guys, I make minimum wage.
Can you imagine if you've got Superman money, the fucking PC rig that Henry Cavill has?
Oh my! That dude can play Crisis.
That dude, shut the fuck up, Ben. I'm gonna beat your ass. What year is it?
That joke never gets old to me.
It never gets old. God, it definitely dates us, though. It makes us sound exactly as old as we are. Because if you said that to like some Zoomer, they'd be like, "Yeah, anything can play Crisis now, bruh." And it's like, no, you don't get it. It's cool.
No, no, I'm
We're
cool.
Old. I'm cool. I know all the cool 4chan memes.
Yeah, but fuck yeah. So Witcher's really good.
Okay.
I'm really excited for season 2.
Good.
That same day before we started The Witcher, we watched Bumblebee.
Oh yeah,
That
you continue your downward spiral into
Transformers, Mark. Yeah, absolutely. Bumblebee movie's really good.
I've heard it's actually quite good. Yes. It's like a soft reboot, right?
It's they were like Hasbro hasn't like fully committed to it's a reboot. But it like massively contradicts like a big thing in the Bay movies.
Okay.
Like one of the whole movies gets retconned by Bumblebee.
Well, that's good because everything.
Yeah.
Really, all of them are bad. I was gonna say everything after the first one is bad, but then I thought about it a little more. I'm like, no, they're all bad.
First one had that banging Linkin Park track though.
First one did have that pretty rad Linkin Park track. R.I.P. But, like, man, it wasn't that good of a movie.
It had some cool moments, but, like, for the most part, like, yeah, Bumblebee blows it out of the water. Like,
well, yeah.
Fucking, they all look so fucking good.
Well, because they actually look like...
They look like, not only like, oh, they look like the cartoon, but, like, they look like really, really good renditions of the cartoon.
Right, yeah, like Bumblebee, like, they're not the kind of visual jumbled mess that the Bayformers are.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I got super mad, like, I got super mad on Twitter about it, because, Red Lantern Reviews was like, or was it either, one of them was, like, posting, like, clips from, or, like, shots of, like, the Transformers from the Bay movies, and I'm like, I can't recognize any of these characters.
They're incomprehensible.
One of my favorite designs in Transformers is Soundwave.
Right.
I think he fucking looks rad as hell. The boombox in his chest is great. His Bay design is just this jumbled mess of garbage. He doesn't. God,
they're all the only one who's even remotely distinct is Optimus and Bumblebee to an extent. But like,
Prime and Bumblebee, because they're bright colors.
They actually keep their bright primary colors that keeps them identifiable. Crazy.
Like the one that gets me the most is that there's Ratchet, who is an ambulance. He's a red and white ambulance. In the Bay movies, he's green.
Why?
I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't know. But yeah, like, Soundwave's, like, the only way you can recognize Soundwave's Bay design is because he has his cassettes with him.
Oh,
that's like the only way you can tell, like, oh, that's Soundwave.
Right.
It's awful, but the movie, Bumblebee is so fucking good. It's such a good 80s kid finds an alien movie.
Right, yeah, like E.T.
Mm-hmm.
But with, computers.
Big giant robot, and John Cena is there.
That is
John Cena plays like the villain in this movie. It's great.
What?
Yeah.
What?
He plays the big evil military guy that teams up with the Decepticons.
God. Oh my God, John Cena, no!
I know, it's great.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Well, alright then.
Like, I'm just like, I please let this get a sequel. Please let this, like, be a launch to a new universe, because, like...
That isn't bad.
They do this really cool thing, like, I noticed really early on in the movie, where, like, because, like, you only get, like, it's like 10 minutes of, like, the war on Cybertron before, like, they're like, Bumblebee, you gotta go to Earth and get in the pod to go to Earth. Optimus.
I love Superman.
Optimus mentioned something like, this is the Autobot resistance.
Ooh.
And I'm like, go on.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how it usually goes. Usually it's like a war between, like, two factions.
Right.
And, like, they never elaborate on it. They're just like, this is the Autobot resistance. And I'm like,
but that's interesting.
That's super cool. I want to explore that.
Just give us more. Or give Ben more.
Yeah,
Poor
give
Ben.
me more.
Ben and his... I promise, eventually I'll get around to it, man. I swear. There's just so much. Have you noticed how many video games are coming out? I have like a little window that I've got to cram it in. And there's so many other things I also want to do. It's just so hard.
Fit it in when you can.
I hate being a grown-up. Eventually we'll get to it, and then we'll finally be able to talk about it. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, God.
But yeah, speaking of comics, though, there's two I want to talk about this month.
Sure.
I started one. I read it, it's been out for a few months, so I kind of been, reading it on the side. It's called Something is Killing the Children.
Oh, okay.
It is a indie horror title about this small town where obviously something is killing the children.
Yeah, naturally.
This horrifying beast is mutilating bodies and killing kids who go into the woods and all that,
Oh wow.
And this weird bug-eyed girl comes to investigate it, and it's there's no real big twist to it. It's she's kind of this weird mysterious spooky girl who knows things. Right. And she's investigating the monster, and she's the monster hunter type, and she teams up with the only survivor of the first attack of the monster. But it's but the dialogue is just really, really smart and well written, and the art is really good, and it gets fucking gory, and it does not shy away from that.
Oh wow, okay. Do you know who the artist is?
Let me look it up real quick.
I guess I could have just Googled that myself, but I'm always curious about that kind of thing.
It is written by James Tinian, who did some Detective comic stuff, and artist Werther Del Edra, who did Loveless.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. Sounds good. That sounds dope, actually.
It's there's no there's, I said, there's no big shocking twist to the premise, but it's just
really strong writing.
It's a really good take on the premise,
Right. Okay.
Yeah, really good. And plus that I always love a good title.
A good punchy title, like Something is Killing the Children. Yeah,
and
that's pretty.
That's a strong title.
Right
up there with one of my favorite indie album songs I've ever heard. I wish I could find the CD, but it's We Gotta Find the Girls is the name of the song, and I'm like,
Who's the band?
I have no idea. I can't remember. It was a CD I picked up back in college. I picked it up. It was the college radio station was just here's a list at the end of the semester was here's a bunch of free CDs in a bin outside the radio station door that we don't want anymore.
It's so... I guess it is so obscure then, because Google does not give me anything.
I'm pretty sure...
It could just be a local indie group.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it was, and I don't know where man. I picked it up because that song title alone, I'm whatever. However good this song actually is, that title kicks ass.
Awesome. Yeah, it is extremely obscure then, my mans.
Yeah.
There may be no hope, dude.
Maybe I'll find the CD someday.
Someday. What's the other one?
The other one is a manga called that someone posted a picture of on Twitter, and I'm like, ooh, interesting. It's called Spider-Man Fake Red. It is a new manga. It's not licensed by anything in the West. It is it's a Spider-Man manga, regular Spider-Man. The premise being that Spider-Man goes missing.
Okay.
And this kid finds his costume in a trash can.
Oh.
And he puts it on to goof off. Mm-hmm. And then a catastrophe happens. And everyone is like, Spider-Man, go save the day.
Oh, no.
And so he gets, roped into being Spider-Man. And because the real Spider-Man is missing and he has his costume, he kind of has to take on the role despite having no powers and no,
awesome.
experience fighting people at all.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that sounds rad.
It's really cool. They're also and it's also diving into the mystery of what happened to Peter.
Right.
And it's involving the Venom symbiote, and so it's not just Spider-Man is kind of only here as a quick reference, and then it's about the kid. It's actually a Marvel universe thing, you know?
Right, yeah, and it's like it's kind of like a mystery story. I like stuff like that. Those are like my favorite kind of stories, where it's like, it's technically like a genre story, like a hero or whatever, but actually no, it's just like a disappearing person mystery story. Like that's my favorite, where it's just kind of like, yeah, this is a superhero story, but also it's something else. Those are fun. I don't know. I love me a good murder mystery or a missing persons mystery in any genre, basically. So.
And it's also cool because like there's been Spider-Man mangas in the past,
sure,
but like they're always like a Japanese kid becomes Spider-Man and fights like Spider-Man is like the only Marvel presence.
Yeah.
This one actually has like Aunt May and Mary Jane and like other superheroes and stuff like show up.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it's like, oh, that's a really, because like that, it's a unique take on it. So yeah.
Right.
It's not licensed, and apparently the author put out a thing where like sales are flagging.
Oh, really?
And so it's like, I'm like, I want to say like support the official release, but like there's no way to do that, and I really, really hope something picks it up in America so we can like start buying it.
So I guess it's just like a doujin over in Japan, I guess.
It's officially licensed. Like it's a Marvel product.
Right.
But it's Marvel Japan.
Oh, so it has there's no way to get it legally.
Yeah, there's no way for us to like buy, volumes of it yet.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does. And I don't want it to get canceled because it's so good.
Yeah, that's stupid. That feels like an easy win for Marvel to just like simul release their like Marvel Japan stuff, you know? Like, I feel like that's an easy victory for them. So that sucks. Maybe they'll get it. Maybe they'll pick it up. Who knows?
I hope so. I really, really hope so. And because I also feel like, it's not like Viz can pick it up because it's a Marvel product,
Right. Yeah.
So it's like
kind of complex.
Like Marvel US has to be the ones to be like, okay, we'll license this.
Right. That'd be weird too, though, for Marvel US to basically publish a tankobon.
Yeah, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be weird?
That would be really strange.
To go to
the manga section
to get your Spider-Man.
To get like a Spider-Man tank. Yeah, that'd be really weird. I mean, that's interesting. I'd be cool with it, but yeah. Anyway.
But as far as video games go, I've been playing The Witcher 3.
Yes.
And I know you have too.
Of course.
That game's surprisingly good, I guess.
It
apparently.
Is. I think we talked about this.
Yeah, we talked about it last month, yeah.
We did a little bit, but just like to reiterate, it is really funny how much like the open world third person narrative game that has become so ubiquitous, how much of it owes like stuff to The Witcher, and I had no idea until I played it. I was just like, oh wow, okay.
It's like when you finally watch a movie that's like a classic.
Yeah, and you finally get all the references.
Yeah, all the parodies and stuff suddenly make sense, and you're like, oh, they stole that from that. Okay, that's where that comes from. Yeah,
that's big energy with The Witcher 3. It's extremely good, though. That game has aged. This is, again, I feel like I said this before. This game has aged so well. Like,
for
visually,
sure.
Visually, it has just aged phenomenally.
This game looks great, man.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm on PC. I could actually, there is a really extensive mod out there that kind of updates the textures for like 2019, 2020 standards, and I've looked into it. I might do it because it would look really cool, and I'm interested. So yeah, there's actually a mod scene, a pretty substantial mod scene for The Witcher. Most of it is titty mods, but
of course,
you know how it is.
Yeah,
that's actually extremely unsurprising for The Witcher, considering its extremely horny origins.
And also pretty fitting. Like, if there's any game that should get it, it's probably The Witcher. It feels
probably The Witcher.
Feels more at home in The Witcher than like Fallout.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's still super. Honestly, I need to get back to it. But next week, I've got to be ready for next week's game.
Yeah.
So which is I mean, we can talk about it. We're not like in extent, but both of us have been playing Disco Elysium. Disco Elysium is extremely good. Look forward to that episode next week. Is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what else besides The Witcher? I started up Hob.
Oh yeah,
I've been posting
that's
on
like
that
a Zelda-like, right?
Not really. I've been posting it on Twitter. It's God, it feels like this type of game should be a genre in of itself.
Right.
Where you play as a kind of cute, innocent-looking creature.
Yeah.
There's no dialogue. And and you are given a weapon, and you are meant to navigate the environment and trigger events in the environment to make more environment appear. All the while, like, battling monsters and stuff.
Yeah.
It's that kind of game. You are given a cool robot arm that you use to, like, drag blocks and stuff. It's got its problems. Some of the platforming is a little shaky because it's an isometric game. And when you're trying to do jumping, when you can't quite tell depth and, distance, that runs into some problems. It also has some collision problems like crazy.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty, I don't want to say like really buggy, but
I wouldn't say it's buggy because like it's crashed a few times, and apparently like if you play it for several hours without stopping, the frame rate tanks. And you get pop-in issues and stuff, and it has crashed a few times, but like it has a very generous autosave,
right?
So like you never lose anything, and if you close it and reopen it, a lot of those problems go away,
right?
So you just have to, like, when you start noticing it to get laggy, you just close the application and reopen it.
Okay.
There is one cool thing I really, really like that it does, and I wish more games would do this because it looks really neat.
What's that?
So it's got, drag the block into the thing, right?
Yes.
And it's got the thing where you have to push a block off of a ledge sometimes. And normally in these kinds of games, it's the character just kind of keeps moving forward and the block falls onto the lower floor, right?
Right.
In this one, when you get to the edge and you want to nudge it over, the character will let go of the box and punch it with his robot arm and knock it off.
Okay, cool, fun.
It's this really like neat little animation that's just like this little added touch, and it looks really nice.
Aw, that's cute.
Also the set designs and like it's got that like kind of metallic concrete gear style design, like segmented like platforms that kind of rise and align with each other. The moss and grass growing over like ancient ruins and stuff.
Right.
Really, really good, like old ancient tech style aesthetic. And you have a robot friend that like guides you places and stuff. It's good.
Sounds cute.
It's a fun little game.
And then last, I know that you picked up Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Yes, I played that for a few hours last night. That's a Persona, baby. That's a Persona 4. That the setup for that game is just Persona 4. You are a high schooler and you go to the other world and you get an ancient spirit that is your buddy, and then you fight a bunch of monsters in this phantom world, and your partners are all high schoolers too. And it's got the Persona 4 battle style. Yep. The menus look like Persona 4.
That's just a Persona, baby, but very specifically P4.
There are a few like really neat things that do set it apart from just being a reskin of Persona 4. Leveling up is done Fire Emblem style, where you get your you get your health and MP, and those level up every time. When you level up, you also have your list of stats, strength, defense, magic, all that, and those level up Fire Emblem style. So you randomly will get a +1 in certain categories.
Okay.
But you learn skills Persona style. So you have X amount of slots, and you learn new skills, and then you have to pick those. Pick which skills you want, and they're all Shin Megami Tensei skills. Zio, Bufu, Dia, all that. But your physical skills. So instead of doing the weakness knockdown thing like P4 or 5, you instead do follow-up attacks. So you get your basic set of skills. So you get 3 skills. There's like attack, passive, and follow-up. And like attack is like whatever, your spells and your special attacks, Your passives are just like buffs that you can get that are just like on your character.
Okay.
And then the follow-up ones are if you are fighting an enemy and they're weak to Zio, and you zap them with Zio, if your teammate has a skill that says when someone uses Zeo, they'll follow up with their own attack.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Okay.
So you're not doing knockdowns, but you're like, how can I chain? Like, I need to chain these with the rest of my party, because like,
okay,
like it's if the main character does a Zeo attack, then the female lead will do a stabbing follow up, and if she does a stabbing follow up, then your third party member will do another stabbing follow up.
Okay, that's cool. That's actually really interesting. That's a little bit different than just kind of breaking, because you can kind of break like Persona 5 over your knee with like the weakness system that's been. I mean, I guess it's P3 and P4 as well, of course.
Right.
But you can. It's a little. I wouldn't say unbalanced, but I mean, like the whole point is that you're trying to achieve like that weak status so that you can do a follow-up attack that way. And so it's cool, this idea of like chaining things together. It almost kind of feels like the beginning version of the baton pass in P5, so that's neat.
It's kind of like if you were to blend the blend the weakness with the all-out attack thing. But just like instead of it being you have to knock down everyone, it's just like you knock down people with the right abilities and they can do follow-ups.
Okay, that's interesting.
Cool. It's really good so far. I'm really enjoying it.
I would like to also play it, but considering my Switch that I played 3 Houses on was a borrowed Switch, I am currently Switchless. Because my brother was like, I need that Switch back. I'm like, yeah, I guess that's true. I can't actually keep your Switch for 6 months.
Right.
So eventually I'll get one. Hopefully at Taxmas I'll probably score me a Switch if I can. And then actually be able to reliably play Switch games more often. In the meantime, I cannot play Tokyo Mirage Sessions, but soon. I would like to. It feels like it could actually scratch a good Persona itch, because I have no interest in the Royal.
Right.
And we're a long ways off from Scramble.
And like I said, like it's specifically 4. Like it really reminds me of 4 way more than 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though it's set in Tokyo. Right. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm really excited to keep playing that. Also, Crom's design is fucking rad in that game.
Oh, I know.
Dude,
all of the designs in that game are pretty. All of the designs in that game are pretty fucking dope.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, it's pretty choice. I know that all of the school uniforms in P5 and 3 Houses are in Tokyo Mirage Sessions as well, which I think is neat.
Which is good because I don't like the uniforms that they have in this game.
Wop wop.
They're very like soft when you think about like the P5 uniforms.
They're just kind of more generic versus like P5 and P4 is like very strikingly designed uniforms.
Yeah.
I think the Garrick Mock uniform is kind of ugly, personally. So it's fine if I don't have those. But I really like the Yasogami uniform.
Yeah, so I'll probably switch to that once it becomes available. The only other thing I did, and I know you kind of did this too, so we can probably talk about it together, is AGDQ happened last week.
AGDQ happened...
Or 2 weeks ago. Geez. 2 weeks ago, actually.
Oh, God, yeah. It was great. I mean, you know, there's not a lot to say about AGDQ except, like, the standout runs, which was the Fallout Anthology run, which kicked ass.
Which is great.
It's great because there's diagrams involved and you love it. Tomato Angus, the G is silent, is a really good... runner. He has a great YouTube channel where he does lots of like really esoteric Fallout runs. He has a run where it's a speed run to sleep with somebody, like the first available person to sleep with in Fallout 4. And like also one, like a speed run to sleep with everybody you can sleep with in New Vegas. I think those kind of things are really fun. Just like goofy categories like that are really interesting.
Making the website create new categories for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Making speedruns.com create more categories, which is what we're all after, of course. Yeah, he's a really good runner. He has a really good channel. He speedruns a lot of things, honestly. And then the other really, really standout one is, of course, Zelda No Source. Is that what it's called? The Ocarina of Time No Source run?
Yeah, the one where they trick the game
Fucking magic?
Yeah, where witchcraft happens and they trick the game into spawning items in chests that shouldn't be there in order to get the entire inventory.
Yes. Fucking magic.
Every Zelda, like every 3D Zelda game, because there was also a Wind Waker run, there was also a Skyward Sword run. Zelda 3D Zelda runs specifically the goal is to play regular Zelda as little as possible.
It's true. Actually, the Skyward Sword run is also extremely good because the Skyward Sword run has probably one of my favorite AGDQ moments ever, which is playing the game inside the start menu.
I can't remember why that matters. But they did it.
I don't either.
They did it, and they're like, oh yeah, we play the game in the start menu, because the start menu is actually a totally loaded world. And you go, what? And then your brain leaves your body, and you just kind of stare like a dog that's been shown a magic trick.
Your brain puts a hat on, it picks up its briefcase, and it's like, I'm going on vacation. Like a cartoon brain. And it was great. I loved it. Just seeing people run around inside the start menu of the Skyward Sword run literally never stopped being funny for me. I think speedrunning is, like, the highest form of comedy if done correctly. Like, it's extremely serious because people, of course, dedicate, like, massive amounts of time and effort into doing it. But, like, watching it go down is probably one of the purest forms of comedy for me, personally. Because I just love watching the bonkers shit people do.
It would be like watching like a football game.
Yes, where everything goes wrong.
And a player like takes the ball and then runs off the field and then reappears on the other side of the field.
Yes.
And the announcer's like, "Oh yes, he just did a walk around clip," and you're like, "What?
Yeah. What?
What?
Yeah, exactly.
That's not against the rules. It's a totally legal move that everyone can do." What?
Perfect comedy. I love it. I think the Fallout Anthology run is especially a good example of that, because, like, for one, also because Tomato is, like, a really funny runner with a good personality, and he's just really comfortable on stage now. But, like, just, again, like, doing really stupid shit in order to make the game do what you want it to do.
To cut off time. Like,
cut off time, yeah.
The ultimate goal of every single thing they did when they're talking about, like, oh yeah, we have to trick the game into playing in the menu.
Yes.
Or, oh yeah, we trick the game into loading chests with the wrong inventory, and we spawn a room. We spawn like 21 instances of a room on top of each other, so we can talk to the Skull Kid and get all the heart pieces at once. Right. All that is to serve the purpose of getting to the credits quicker. Yeah,
it's great. It's such a delight. It's so much fun. Yeah. All of the runs were so good.
Shout out to Linkus again.
We love Linkus
on stage, and getting the barrier skip on the GameCube version of the game.
Yeah, which is super hard and rare. He said in some practice runs it takes like 30 tries. He did it in like less than 10, I think. Linkus is cool too, because I've been watching AGDQ and like GDQ events for a while now. Like 3 or 4 years at this point, I want to say. And Linkus is cool because you can go back and watch like earlier GDQ events, and he's there because he's like the Wind Waker runner, of course. And, like, he is really, I mean, of course, like, realistically, speedrunners are nerds. They're not sociable people.
Right.
Like, some of them are natural performers, like Tomato and Maxi Lobes, who runs, like, Resident Evil and Devil May Cry 1 and stuff like that. They have, like, a really natural, kind of chill charisma. But a lot of speedrunners are just dorks, like you and me. They don't want to talk in front of a room packed full of people.
A lot of these people are used to being in their room, on the stream with no one around them, doing stuff that requires a lot of concentration.
And they never talk. The thing is that they don't really need to talk, because obviously they're thinking very hard about what they're doing next.
Like, no one can hear, like, they can't hear an audience, they can't feel the presence of an audience. And yeah, like, it's incredibly nerve-wracking, and then you do it in front of a fucking million people on a live stream for charity.
Yeah, and in a room, this year, absolutely packed full of people. I mean, basically every run at AGDQ this year, the room was just crowded with people. And it's like, oh, right. And so you go back and you watch those old ones, and he's, like, very obviously uncomfortable, and who could blame him? I would probably be dying, too. And then you watch, like, the most recent one, the 2020 run, and he's just so chill. He's just, I mean, he still has his moments where he seems kind of like, oh, God. But, like, yeah, anybody would be, you know?
Right.
But, like, for the most part, he's super comfortable. He's just able to roll with it. He makes jokes like it's just the most natural thing in the world. He talked about, like, you know, counting in Swedish and, you know, your IKEA furniture coming to life, and that was great. I mean, it was just so, he just seemed so cool and natural and chill, and it was like, yeah, good for you, Linkus. This is an extremely neat thing to watch, to get, like, really familiar with certain runners, you know? And just be like, oh, this is cool. We love it. We love to see it, folks. So yeah.
Yeah, always fun. They also, they raised, 3.14 million dollars, I think. Yeah,
they
broke the 3 million mark, which was like fucking great.
They did quite well. They beat the amount from SGDQ 2019, which is good. When they hit 3 million, and when they beat the thing, they played Weight of the World from Nier Automata, which immediately made me burst into tears because I am emotionally vulnerable to that song in the context of, like, people coming together and doing a good thing. It doesn't matter what it is. If you lay it over with Weight of the World, I'll be in the corner going, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool. I actually stayed up to watch the full final run of Metroid. I was up until like 2 o'clock in the morning watching the end of AGDQ because I have never actually stuck around to see, like, the closing ceremonies and stuff because it is always so late.
Right.
But, like, this year I was like, fuck it. I'm going to get some vodka. I'm going to sit around and I'm going to watch the end of AGDQ just to say that I did it. And it was good. It was a really cool run. It was an extremely difficult run because it was a modded version of Super Metroid to be made even harder. And the runner had, like, some difficulty with the Ridley fight at one point. But, like, after that, it was smooth sailing, and it was great. It was super fun to watch. I loved it. I love GDQ events. I want to go. I'm so jealous that you got to go.
They, also, my achievement for AGDQ is they read my donation.
They did read you. Didn't you, like, make a stupid pun? You made a pun.
I did. I made a pun during, because the big thing was Zelda puns during the Zelda relay race.
Right.
Which was fucking dope. It was Zelda 1, 2, and 3 back to back, going from NES to Super NES.
Yeah. I need to watch that one. I haven't gotten around to it yet.
But I didn't get to the end because it was, like, super late and I was exhausted and I realized, like, I'm not even, like, understanding what they're doing right now, so I'll go to bed and watch it later.
I'm so tired.
But I did hear them read my donation and I got really happy.
What was your donation? What was the pun? Do you remember?
It was, Zelda puns, I'll have to link of something.
That is abysmal. Fuck you. I hate it. But yeah, as for me and what I've been playing and what I've been watching and reading, not much. I've been busy with Disco Elysium trying to get it finished, and I didn't. Sorry. Played The Witcher, like you. Played a little bit. I got Final Fantasy 12 for Christmas from I think from Saturn. So I played a little bit of that just to get back into it. That game is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I just really like that voice acting.
12 is so good, and it's good to hear the voice acting this time.
This time you can actually hear it, and it doesn't sound like it was recorded in a tin can. Yay, we love it. I got a lot of stuff from folks in my various Discord servers, in the Big Gay Nerds Discord and in the Gaytown Discord. Unfortunately, people were kind enough to donate to give me some games for Christmas, and of course I gave them stuff back because it's Christmas. That's the spirit of the season. So I have, like, a ton of stuff to play in the future. Thanks, guys, for adding to my backlog. So I copped Final Fantasy 12. I got Pyre. I got Luca, Born of a Dream.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, really cool. I think that's it. I might have one other thing I forgot to download, but I don't have Steam open right now. But yeah, so I have a lot of stuff to play, thanks, I guess. I'm just gonna die. I love all of you, but also, video games. There's so much happening. But then, also, I've been, like, waiting to get to this part all night. My other guilty pleasure that I got back to, in, like, a pretty substantial way, is I got back to playing Fate Grand Order. Womp womp. Whoops. Oopsie doodle.
Back to mobile game hell with you.
Back to the to the mines with me. It's fine.
What's the currency in that game?
Saint Quartz.
Back to the Saint Quartz mines with you.
That's exactly right.
Gilgamesh kicks you down a pit.
It's fine. Listen, it's fine. Shut up. There was an event going on this last week. That I think it was Shia who messaged me or mentioned in like one of my chats that like, hey, this event is like really good for grinding for mats, like, you know, level up materials and stuff like that, without it being just a miserable fucking slog. So I was like, sure, I'll get back to it. And I got back to it and I was like, fuck, I actually really like this game. Oh no, I love this game. And I got like a ton of stuff. Fortunately, I was able to like, the cool thing is that you got a lot of stuff without having to like spend a ton of time. Mm-hmm. So I copped a bunch of stuff to like, level servants, blah blah blah, all that good stuff. Actually have like a nice roster finally.
Did you get the thing where like it's been like a year since you played, and so like all of the update rewards just ping at once and you're like, I'm rich?
Yes! I'm so wealthy. Yeah, I logged in and literally got like 100 Saint Quartz just from like, because like anytime there's server maintenance and stuff, they give you like 2 or 3 Saint Quartz as an apology. Mm-hmm. And so there was, of course, there's routine server maintenance, and all of that just builds up in your fucking notification boxes. So I started up and it was just like a mountain of quartz just falling on my face. And I was like, yes! And then I rolled 3 times and I got jack fucking squat. And I remembered I hate this fucking video game. I got shit for dick, man.
Well, it's good to know you don't have a gambling problem.
No, it was good though. I have only ever spent money on Grand Order twice, and both times were during I think once or twice a year they do an event where if you can only roll with paid quartz, so there's a distinction between paid and free quartz. You can only roll with paid quartz, and if you roll with paid quartz, you're guaranteed a 5-star servant of the class that you're rolling in. So like you're guaranteed a 5-star rider, you're guaranteed a 5-star saber, all that stuff. I did that twice. I got one really good one. I got one I just did not fucking want. I don't even remember what it was. I got Nightingale as my Berserker, which is good because I really like that character. I got something else that I was just like, oh, fine, whatever. And I didn't get the ones I was actually aiming for, which, whatever. But the beautiful thing is I did learn I don't have a gambling problem, because both times I spent that money and I was not like, I need to buy more. I was like, I hate this fucking video game. And anytime I roll with like a lot of quartz, it always makes me just want to stop playing. If I don't get what I want, I'm just like, fuck this. So now I'm just hoarding. But like the deal is that I finally, partly because Roddy, a friend of ours on Twitter, tossed us some money on Ko-fi to actually talk about Grand Order, which means I actually need to like semi-consistently play Grand Order right now, because I want to get back to the plot. So I was telling you this, and I'll tell everybody else this. The first 2 story arcs, like major story arcs of Grand Order, fucking suck, y'all. They're so boring and so bad. They're about characters I do not give a shit about. Nothing interesting is going on. So all of these characters who I do think are good, like I like Sean, and I like Marie, as in Antoinette, of course, and Mozart. I like those characters in Orleans, but like I hate the writing in that fucking Singularity. It's bad, folks. And then Septum is about Nero, like one of my most reviled.
Nero's the worst.
Nero is the fucking worst. She's never been good. Your waifu is shit.
Like usually we say that as a joke, but like no, for real, this time it's real.
For real, your waifu is actually shit. I hate to tell you this. She's just like the worst type of like smug like ruler character that I just hate. Where it's like the world revolves around me, and there really doesn't seem to be much else going on in that empty head of hers. Maybe, but I never got far enough in her quest in Extra to care. So, and I like Fate Extra. I'm one of the 10 people on Earth who really likes Fate Extra.
one of the 5 people who finished it.
Yeah, it's true. Among all 10 people who've played Fate Extra, the only 10 people who played it, because that game did not sell well enough to get CCC. But yeah, no, the first two singularities are just they're grim, they're bad, they're just boring. They're not even like shitty in an entertaining way. They're just bad.
It's just bad writing.
Just bad. It's just boring writing. It's not even bad writing. You're just like, I'm so bored. I'm falling asleep. And then I started the third singularity, which is called Okeanos, and it's about Francis Drake, aka Sexy Titty Writer. And it was like a breath. I was like alive again. It's just like, it's about pirates and it's cool and everybody's being really goofy and it's just fun and fucking Drake is so entertaining as a character. It's literally just about how cool she is. And it's like, what's going on? I'm having fun with Grand Order again. So I'm actually going to finally start slogging through it, because after this, apparently, it gets like really, really good and just stays consistently good. So it's apparently some of Natsu's best writing. So look forward to a Grand Order episode at some point in the future. It will probably be multiple episodes, because there is so much fucking content. I honestly, like, part of me wants to float the idea of like a Patreon, like a lower tier Patreon goal that's a Fate cast. Like a once, you know how like the Gigaboots guys do like the Dragon Ball movie podcast? I would love to have like a once a month Fate podcast. I don't know what the structure would be. Somebody message me on Twitter and give me an idea. I have no idea. But I just know there's enough content that we could stay talking about Fate for the foreseeable future. And I really like Fate, so that's cool with me. I don't know about poor Ben.
Give us some kind of structure to do this in, and just let Sarah talk to me about Fate.
Let me get this out of my system once a month, because I really could.
We've done 3 episodes where I talk about Kingdom Hearts while she stares dumbfounded. Let's do the opposite with Fate.
We were talking about that last night, where it's like, so what the fuck is Grand Order about? And I was like, well,
because you showed me a clip, and I'm like, I recognize Gilgamesh in this clip, but why is he like a good guy now? And you're like, well, okay, so
there comes a point. You ever have a moment where you're like texting somebody in Discord, like on your phone, and you realize like, I'm gonna need a keyboard for this. You asked me a question, and I was like, I gotta switch to a computer, because this is gonna be a lot.
You ever, like, it's always, like, this weird thrill when, like, you're the knowledgeable one about something and someone asks, like, hey, so what's up with this? And you're like, okay, so
hang on to your butt, because this is a lot.
Because, actually, this happened over Christmas. So I got the Kingdom Hearts version of Talisman.
Okay.
Which is, like, a board game, like an adventuring, like, fantasy board game.
Okay.
And there's a Kingdom Hearts version of it. I'm like, ooh, I'll cop that. I brought it to Christmas, because, like, we play board games at our friend Christmas.
Sure.
My friend Matt was, like, going through, because they're all board game guys, so they're, like, going through, like, the rules and stuff, and my friend Matt's like, so is Mulan, like, a big part of Kingdom Hearts? Because, for some reason, like, you have the little figurines for the characters, and it's Sora, Riku, Kairi, Mickey, Donald, Goofy, Aqua, Terra, Ventus,
sure,
Xion, and Mulan.
What?
Like, not Axel or Roxas. Mulan.
Okay.
She's, like, the only, like, not, like, primary member of the cast.
What?
That's, like, a playable character. I don't know. Because it's... And the other weird thing, and I was telling Matt about this, like, yeah, it's weird because, like, the game is kind of structured around Kingdom Hearts 1 and, like, you know, days and everything. Because, like, it's all, you go to the Kingdom Hearts 1 worlds, and, like, so are Riku and Kairi are in their Kingdom Hearts 1 designs.
But Mulan is Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, Mulan is in 2, and she's only in 2. Like, she's not even, like, it's not even, like, Hercules.
Or they go, or, like, Agrabah, where they go back to it 100 times.
Yeah, like, it's not, like, you know, one of them. It's she's just in the one game, and
it's weird.
So it's weird. Like this weird pick that they got, but
that's really weird. Okay.
But yeah, so it's like he's like, so what's up with Mulan? And I'm like, okay, so it's really weird. I had to explain it all, and I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot.
I'm an idiot. Yeah, I got mad because somebody, I think I posted it on Twitter. Somebody in my office was like, "So what is Kingdom Hearts about?" I kind of like answered kind of vaguely, and then they kept like answering me, like asking me questions, and I had answers. And about midway through answering questions, I texted you like, "You motherfucker! This is your fault. I actually know what's going on.
You gave me knowledge.
You did this to me.
You cursed me."
I was cursed with knowledge like Prometheus. It's horrible. Chain me to a rock and let the ravens pluck out my liver. It's horrible.
You're like, why did you give me fire?
And then, really, frankly, why isn't Prometheus a character in Fate yet? Actually,
that's a good question.
That's gotta be a good one. Anyways, that's why I want to inflict fate upon you, especially, because I like to joke about like Fate being convoluted, or not Fate, excuse me, Kingdom Hearts being convoluted. But like, I really can't complain. Like, I like to make fun of Kingdom Hearts just because, it's like, it's still a harmless ribbing about like the complexity of Kingdom Hearts. But like, boy, Fate.
At least Kingdom Hearts has one timeline.
It has one timeline ostensibly, and allegedly.
At least events in Kingdom Hearts happen chronologically.
I mean, technically so do events in Fate. It's just that there's multiple chronologies, okay? Don't worry about it. It's fine. I was just thinking about it, because, like, when you asked me, like, what the fuck is Grand Order I was about? I was like, oh, no. And then I thought about it more, and it's like, if anybody asked me, like, what the fuck is, like, X Fate series about, that would be the response no matter what, which is, oh no, do you have 20 minutes?
It's the funny thing is, like, I remember when, like, I remember telling them, like, back when Fate Stay Night, the second one, the UFO table one was running, and I was telling my friends, like, oh yeah, I'm watching this cool anime called Fate Stay Night. And they're like, what's it about? And I had to give them the dumb version, which was all these, like, historic figures from the past are, like, your summons, and you use them to do battle.
Yeah.
And it's way more than that.
It's so much more than that. It is technically still that, like, at its core. Like, even Fate Grand Order is at its core, like, here's a thing. There's some bad shit happening. Summon heroes from the past to solve the bad thing. But it is so much aggressively more than that as well. Like, it's not just like a war. It's like cataclysmic sort of post-apocalyptic event, kinda, in Grand Order. And don't get me started about Prisma Ilia and fucking I don't even know what Strange Fake is about. There is now the Grace, is it called Grace Note? It's the one with Waver, the Lord El Malloy II anime, which according to Roddy is extremely good because it's just like, again, like a mystery story that happens to be set in Fate and is about Waver, who is like one of the most interesting characters in Fate because he's just like super relatable. So I really want to sit down and watch that at some point. And then meanwhile, also the Babylonia anime is running, and that's just aggressively Grand Order. If you don't know what Grand Order is about, you will be lost as fuck with Babylonia.
And then there's also the one where they just abandon the war entirely and just go eat Shiro's cooking.
Yeah, oh yeah, which is getting a game. It's getting a Switch cooking game.
I want to play Cooking Saber.
I'm going to import Cooking Saber immediately. Like, as soon as it's available, I'll get a Switch just to play that, because, like, I don't actually know, like, what the translated title of what that game is called, but there's, like, a joke. There's, like, an old Fate meme that, like, Fate Stay Night could also be called Family Dinner Simulator, because, like, a lot of Fate's kind of plot elements revolve around, like, cooking together. Or, like, stuff happens in adjacency to everybody eating dinner. You know what I mean? And so there's, like, a lot of sequences of, like, cooking and stuff in the original visual novel. And, I mean, if you paid attention in Unlimited Blade Works, like, the second anime, you could watch it and go, like, wait a second, yeah, there is a lot of cooking in this show. So, Family Dinner Simulator. So I just call it the Family Dinner anime, and it's, like, that's what, I think it's, like, everyday menu with the Emiya family or something. It's really good. It's cute. It will make you hungry. I actually can't watch that show for more than like 1 or 2 episodes because I get really hungry watching it, because it's like elaborate cooking sequences of Japanese and different types of food, and you just watch it, you're like, oh my god.
Oh god,
so
I need that in me.
I need that food. Yeah, it's really bad. And by bad I mean good, of course. Fate, baby, it's a lot.
There's a lot to do.
There's a lot to talk. This is what I mean when I say we could probably easily do a Fate, just a Fate podcast once a month for like the next foreseeable forever.
Right.
Is because there's so much content there. I mean, this is just like off the top of my head, and then we'll go to news.
Yeah.
But there is. Okay. Fate Zero, Fate Stay Night, Fate Autoraxia, Grand Order, Strange Fake, Lord Elmaloy II, Extra CCC, Extella, the sequel to Extella, whose name I don't remember right now, but it's only like a partial sequel, Prisma Ilia, Apocryphal, what else? Those are the big ones. There's probably more. I'm definitely forgetting something. And
Everyday cooking.
Yeah. Everyday cooking, yeah. And yeah. And then also don't forget that Fate Stay Night itself has 3 different routes that are all completely different. So, it's fine. It's fine. We love it.
And there's
so much content for this fucking show.
This all started because Nasu wanted to fuck King Arthur.
Because Nasu wanted to fuck King Arthur. That's it. That's literally why Fate exists. And honestly, Fate is like super good and sucks at the same time. And I love it. So I guess I'm back in Grand Order. Why did I talk for this fucking long about it? How did this fucking happen to me?
Did you do anything else besides play Grand Order?
Other than play Disco Elysium and just kind of hung out with friends. I picked back up Tiger, which is a webcomic that I talked about the first time we ever did a roundup, and I could not remember the name of it. It's about like ships and sailing and stuff like that. It's called Tiger. It's extremely good. It's about this guy who is a sailor, and he sails with his best friend, and his best friend is engaged to his twin sister, and then the twin sister is like a high society lady, and because they're twins, she steals the boat and the fiance, and they go off on adventures, and it's good. You should check it out. The art's super, super good. It's the best. I'm trying to get caught back up with it because I kind of let it go for a while. But like Owen from Big Gay Nerds was like, oh my god, please get caught up. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to get caught up with that too then. So I picked that up. I'm like taking it very, very slowly, like literally reading like 2 or 3 pages and then getting distracted by other things because ADHD. But it's really good and I really like it. So yeah, there you go. Finally done.
All right. Let's talk about the news.
Let's do it. Lightning round.
Some cool stuff happened. Some not cool stuff happened.
Womp womp.
So we'll go through this. First off, there's a bunch of Final Fantasy VII Remake leaks out, so stay away at all costs.
God.
There's no article or like anything associated with this because I don't want to see a single thing.
It's really, really bad. It is bad.
Tons of shit got leaked.
It's literally like the final boss. If you wanted to go Google what the final boss of the remake is, you could. So that's how egregious it is. You could go listen to basically the entire soundtrack. There's unfinished cutscenes out there, all of the different enemies, so you can know all the bosses, party members, all that shit. It all exists out there, out in the open. The only thing I wanted to see were the renders of the Shinra staff, like because we hadn't seen we hadn't seen Scarlet, we hadn't seen Rufus, we hadn't seen Hojo. That's all out there. Surprise! They look great, like everybody else. Fucking what a shock, right?
Yeah, stellar. They didn't fuck that one up.
Everybody looks good. I'm excited. It also got delayed.
It did, so I'll skip ahead to that one. Yeah, Final Fantasy VII Remake got delayed to 10th of April.
That's 10 days before Cyberpunk. No, wait, that's not true.
No.
Because Cyberpunk also got pushed back.
Because, the next article on that list is Cyberpunk 2077 still needs crunch time to complete, CEO says. That one got delayed to September, yeah.
So, much bigger delay for Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, fine, technically.
Yeah.
But also, I was just, like, really gearing up to have, like, a summer where all I fucking did was play Final Fantasy VII and Cyberpunk. So, like, I'm not one of those maniacs who gets, like, really mad about delays online, you know? But I am very sad.
Right. But
I'm very sad.
The Final Fantasy VII one is like they found something.
It's a month.
Yeah, it's such a relatively small time that it's like, oh, they found something bad that they need to fix now.
Yeah, it sounds like it was something like that, or they just needed to reshuffle their release schedule, any number of small things, because that's such a minor delay.
Yeah.
It's 5 weeks. So, like, that's really not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of delays. Now, the September for Cyberpunk, that's more of a big deal.
That's like they very clearly underestimated how much time they needed, and that's several months out that they needed to push this.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I mean, we already know that the crunch is going to happen at CDPR, which sucks.
Yeah,
I hate it. You know,
I hope this mitigates the crunch damage.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't make it as, like, soul. I mean, it's still going to happen, but that's, like, every triple. I mean, that's realistically. Go ahead. Like,
at least CD Projekt is like, yeah, we're crunching. It sucks.
It sucks.
They're not doing the Rockstar, like, it was voluntary that they decided to stay behind for the dedication of the game. It's like, no, this sucks. We hate it.
And I mean, like, the thing to tell, like, everybody listening right now is that, like, yeah, if you say, like, okay, CDPR is crunching their employees, that's going to keep me from buying the game. That's cool, and I get it. We all have to make, like, a stand,
right?
With, like, a thing we believe in. But I got bad news. If you buy a AAA title, there was crunch involved. Yeah. That's just the state of the industry right now. Final Fantasy VII Remake is probably mostly crunch. If you are enjoying Final Fantasy XIV right now, like a lot of people are, bad news. NoClip did a documentary about, like, recreating Final Fantasy XIV, and they kind of danced around it because they wanted it to be like a happy documentary about how Final Fantasy XIV came back from the dead, but the implication was that there was an absolutely brutal year of crunch time that went into recreating Final Fantasy XIV. If you are playing a AAA game in 2020, there was crunch at some point.
It's inevitable. It's unavoidable. It
sucks.
If that makes you stop buying certain games, that's great. That's fine.
Absolutely.
If it doesn't, like, if you keep playing, like, that's also fine because those employees still gotta eat.
Everybody gotta eat.
And,
games gotta sell. The best thing you can do is be very vocal about your support for the GMU, the Game Makers Union.
This is not like a vote with your wallet situation, because guess what? All those CEOs that you're trying to strike out against already got paid.
They already got paid. They already got their money. Sorry.
And I'll bet, like, those devs who are working in the pits feel really good to see you enjoying their product.
Yeah.
Despite, the soul crunching.
Yeah.
So this is more of a vote with your demand union rights. And that kind of thing.
Support the GMU, and frankly, yes, absolutely do harass the CEOs of companies.
Yes.
Like, even the CEO of CD Projekt. I mean, you know what? Get on his ass.
Yeah.
Pester him on Twitter. That's what Twitter exists for these days, is to make these people's lives a living hell. But, like, the truth of the matter is that if you are playing a AAA title in 2020, it is made with crunch. Now, you can either give up on AAA titles, which is cool, and I definitely applaud you for that. I don't buy nearly as many as I used to, basically for that reason. Or you find other ways to support game makers. Your best bet is to find some way to support the GMU, either if it's monetarily or legally or just with advocacy. Just, that's the best way to do it.
this isn't me saying like, oh, you really think like since you don't buy the game, you're gonna strike, a hole in the CEO's heart? Like, no, that's not it. It's just the facts. The facts is that like they already got paid. They don't care about your purchase anymore.
Yeah. Voting with your dollars doesn't do anything in this industry.
Yeah, in this case, that's not the way to do it.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So all it leads to is people who busted their ass on this game getting fired.
Right.
So yeah.
So that sucks, but
it sucks.
Hopefully the game will still be good.
God willing. I just really, really, really want these two specific video games.
It's like every time you see those like crunch stories and like you buy the game, it's just that gif of Frieza going, "I'll ignore that."
Oh god. Yeah. But yeah, God, it sucks. I just really and it just sucks because I just really want Final Fantasy VII sooner than later.
There's like part of me that's like, oh, thank God, March, the Hell Month is dead. But there's also part of me that's like, I kind of wanted to experience the Hell Month of March.
I wanted the Hell Month. I wanted to tell every other game coming out in Hell Month to fuck off so I could play Final Fantasy VII because that's just what was gonna happen.
The funny thing is that like, so it was Avengers was coming out around the same time as Cyberpunk, right? Mm-hmm. And then so Square Enix delays Avengers 2 to September. And then Cyberpunk delays till September.
Whoops.
Oopsie doodle.
Yeah. Oopsie doodle. Avengers. We're not going to talk too much about Avengers, but Avengers looks dire. The
only thing I'll say about this, about Avengers that I've seen so far is I like Kamala's street uniform.
Sure.
Where she just has like her logo painted on a t-shirt and like her alternate costumes are just other Avengers t-shirts.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Cool. Right. That's cool.
Yeah. But like that's the only thing I'm like, oh, that looks neat. The rest of it I'm like, I'll just play Ultimate Alliance. Yeah. Which also has Kamala. So there you go.
Yeah, so it's fine.
All right, so what else do we got? We've got Mother 4 fan game resurfaces and rebrands as Oddity.
Good for it.
This is cool. Like, it's well deserved. When it was Mother 4, it looked really sharp then.
Yep.
And then they went silent. They did it the right way that you want to do this thing, which it's the same way that they did the fan remake of Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
Which was, we're remaking Resident Evil 2, and then, like, here's a few screenshots of it, and then silence, and then, hey, look at this game that is house bad.
Yeah.
Here's civilian bad.
That's the only way to do it, to save yourself from the fucking copyright nightmare.
Here's our game, Retroid, starring Bamis Boran.
And you just see like these devs just like casually avoiding like the Nintendo murder ninjas that have come to like kill them in their project.
Who was it that says like, or I think it was like Feel, who was like, Kotaku reluctantly reports on this. Because it means they don't get to tattle the Nintendo anymore.
They don't get to send like the Nintendo hit squad after these fucking devs who are just trying to make a fan game. Like, really though, the truth is, if you're making a fan game, follow Wooly Madden's instructions. Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. Don't talk about it until it's done. Then put it out in the open, and when you inevitably get C&D'd, it doesn't matter because it's already out there, and once it's out there, you can't stop it. You know?
Yeah, exactly. But this one, they're very smart about this rebrand. Like, it very clearly still looks like Earthbound.
Extremely so.
But, like, it's got just enough distinction that, like, it's its own thing.
Right. I mean, it has all of its own music, so it's, like, new game from the ground up.
Yeah, it looks, like, super charming, super quirky, fun. I'm really excited for it.
Good for them.
We've got, actually, that also reminds me, it's not on the docket, but, like, they're talking about, I saw this article, about a new series coming to the BBC that was, it says like it's inspired by Discworld and it's called like The Watch, and it's incredibly vague if is this an adaptation of Terry Pratchett's Discworld series? Or is this the writers of this show really like Discworld and wanted to make something that kind of felt like Discworld?
Just couldn't get the rights for whatever reason.
Because the answer determines whether or not I like it. Because if this is Discworld, this is garbage. But if it's just a thing that's kind of like Discworld, I might give it a watch.
Right, yeah. It's a very important distinction to make.
So what else we got? We got, this is one I'm surprised I didn't see a lot of talking about. But new Doki Doki Literature Club content coming from the game's creator.
And a new game as well.
Yeah, straight up, this is great because it's not like, rumors say that blah, blah is coming out. Like, this is Dan Salvato is like, hey, I'm making more DDLC.
Good. Good for him. Frankly, it's been so long since DDLC came out, and, like, the thing was that DDLC was always meant to be kind of a teaser for whatever Dan Salvato was actually working on. And then it's really obvious that Dan Salvato got busy with having, like, a life. And it could not work on that thing that DDLC was supposed to be leading toward. And so, it was like, if that game had come out like 6 months after DDLC, it could have stood on its own legs. The problem is that DDLC kept generating like massive amount of fans' interest and content and blah, 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 all this good stuff. So it's actually really, really smart of him to be like, here's some new DDLC content, because that will do a great job of also making people care about Dan Salvato's other project,
The official tweet says, this will be the year I reclaim my happiness so I can deliver it to others. My goal is to fully return to doing things I enjoy, such as making games, first releasing new DDLC content, not a sequel, then blowing the dust off my next original visual novel, which has been on hold for 2 years. So yeah, he's like, it doesn't get more clear than this. I'm working on DDLC content.
I'm excited. Good
I am
for him.
too.
I still really like DDLC.
I do too, and like the mysteries that were left behind in that game, I'm like, I want follow-ups on this.
Sure. I would really like more. DDLC kind of got like the Undertale treatment where it was like way bigger than anybody anticipated, and so it got a lot of hype backlash where people were like, that game actually sucks, which like, no, it doesn't, it's fine, shut up. DDLC is still really good. It's extremely solid, and it's fucking free. Shut up.
Yeah, just give it a shot.
It's shushy.
We did
and it's not like an ironic visual novel either. It's like clearly written by somebody who really likes visual novels and did his best to replicate that look and feel.
This one is not like those like quirky, ironic fucking KFC ones. This is I wanted to make a quick horror visual novel. Yeah,
absolutely. And they succeeded, and it caught on. He's clearly been making good money off of like merch sales and stuff because DDLC has a ton of merch, like officially, and it does really well. So like, good for him. He found a way to make some side cash off of like a passion project, which kicks ass. And I'm really excited for the new visual novel because I hope it's tied to all that secret shit that was hidden in DDLC. So like, you remember all that, like, the, like, hidden images and stuff in, like, the game files and things like that? I really hope it's all tied to that, because, like...
That shit's raw.
That shit's raw! Give me answers! I want more! So, yeah, good for him. Good for Monica. Bring my wife back. My computer wife. Like Karen from SpongeBob.
God. You're right, but you shouldn't say it.
I shouldn't say it, but I'm going to. You can't stop me.
Okay. All right, so Nintendo had a Pokemon Direct.
Oh yeah.
They're putting out. Basically their like third version of the game. It will be DLC for Sword and Shield. Instead of like making just like a new game.
Yeah.
They're giving you 2 new areas. It's gonna be, both games are getting both of them, but like it's being hosted by a different character depending on which version you go to. They're adding 200 new Pokemon. The nice thing is you don't need to buy the DLC,
right?
If you want to trade the Pokemon, like you can get the Pokemon, like your friend can trade them to you if they have the DLC and you don't. Like you're not locked behind that,
right? Okay.
So that's good, that's like the way it should be handled.
Right.
So it's like, it's closer to getting the national decks. It's not quite there. I think they're still missing like 200 more.
Oh, they're missing more than 200.
Yeah,
It's more like 400. It's a lot.
But it does look like they're adding like some pretty cool, unique stuff. They're also adding the Giga Brain Pokemon.
Oh that fucking I hate
fucking
that. I
big-headed deer.
I hate that fucking thing. It like haunts my dreams.
He looks. I don't know how to describe this in a way that makes sense, but he feels like he talks in a perfectly normal, monotone voice.
You know what it is?
What?
It's the deer from Adventure Time who takes off his hooves and has fingers underneath.
Yes!
It's that. 100% exact same vibe as that fucking thing, okay?
I love his official artwork because he's just like, he's got one arm raised, like he's pointing into the distance.
Yes.
Like, look at this.
Behold.
Look at what your hands have wrought. I am the speaker.
I hate it.
He looks like he would show up in a cartoon and he'd be like voiced by like Ben Stein or something.
Yes, absolutely. I don't like this Pokemon. Its smug aura mocks me. Okay?
This might get me to buy Sword and Shield. It depends on like how good the actual content is once I get it. I'm just watching people lose their minds over Pokemon on Twitter. I mean, like on both sides is just like, I'm just like, I don't care. I was talking about my friend Matt. Like, he's a huge Pokemon like guy. Like, he like does regular online trading. He doesn't do competitive stuff, but like he tries to get a living dex and all that. Yeah. He didn't get Sword and Shield.
Yeah, just
like he bought Sun and Moon day one. You know, he's the one who I went to him and he gave me all the starters.
Oh, nice.
For Sun and Moon, and he's like,
Thanks,
I'm not gonna get Sword and Shield. I'm gonna wait until it's like on sale.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Everything I saw of it, the fact that it seems to be kind of like a step back from like how Sword and Moon had like an actual plot, and it was actually a kind of interesting plot. It seems like a step back from that, and it's like
there's like a bunch of half steps forward, but like one full step back in other areas.
Yeah.
But
I heard it's way more linear. I don't actually know anything about Sun and Moon. I heard it's more linear.
It's more standard Pokemon, like go to each town, fight the gym leader, get the badge, and move on. And like there's no real official like villain team. Like Team Yell is not like a Rocket or a Galactic.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just nothing about like everything I saw in Sun and Moon. Even though I think like a lot of the character designs and stuff in Sun and Moon are like really, really strong. It just seems all really wasted on a setting and characters that I'm just really ambivalent toward.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, okay, I don't know. Maybe I'll wait till the next one. Where's my fucking Sinnoh remake?
Yeah, where's my Diamond Pearl? Like, seeing Sun and Moon stuff like makes me be like, boy, I really miss playing Diamond.
Platinum is so fucking good.
My Diamond team is like my favorite Pokemon team I've ever had.
Yeah, Platinum is one of my favorite. It's probably my favorite Pokemon game. I really like Platinum. I really like that setting. I like that team. I love those legendaries because it's basically like, hey, what if there was a legendary who was basically just an Eldritch Horror? And I'm like, yes, I love it.
I looked on Amazon. I'm like, how much is Platinum? And it's like $80. And I'm like, never mind.
It's too fucking much. Just
never mind. I will just dream.
Borrow it.
Yeah, I'll get it
from your friend on the internet.
Yeah, I'll get it somehow. But what?
Can you see me waggling my eyebrows at you, internet? Anyways, that will definitely.
The Gorge does not advocate the cool crime of piracy.
We'll definitely get the Nintendo Hit Squad to come after you. They will show up at your house.
They also did announce, though, a remake of Mystery Dungeon. Which is pretty cool. People like Mystery Dungeon a lot. I've never played them, but people seem to really, really like them. So
yeah,
good.
That's cool. Good for them.
Yeah, I guess a new one would have been better, but like I'll take a remake too.
Sure.
So this is one I put on here because it made me laugh.
Oh no.
Left 4 Dead 3 is absolutely not currently in the works, Valve says.
Fucking obviously, people.
Obviously,
come on.
Valve
does not make video games.
They are not working on Left 4 Dead 3. Everyone knew this. Why would you even think for a moment they were working on Left 4 Dead 3?
Why do you think Can you fucking believe some people actually think Half-Life Alyx is coming out in March?
It's...
Yeah, no.
No, it's...
Half-Life Alyx is not coming out in March. It wasn't even at the fucking Game Awards the way they said it was going to be.
It's not happening.
It's not happening. It's not happening. Valve does not make video games. Valve is a hole where your dreams go to die. Justice for Campo Santo. Yes, I am going to have that printed on a t-shirt, and I will be selling them on my Twitter. If you would like one, I swear to God, I will make Justice for Campo Santo t-shirts. And then I'll just send the money to the Campo Santo devs and be like, use this to leave, please. Yeah. Please just leave and then go make a new game.
Please make your game.
So you can make your video. Here, I will pay your legal fees to get your video game back from Valve. You never should, never, ever sign a deal with that fucking devil. Gabe Newell came from hell to kill your hopes and dreams. I am sure of it now. That is a man who exists solely to take the things you love and turn them into Dota characters. Like, don't do it. Do not do it. Do not make a deal with the devil named Gabe Newell. Don't. I don't care how much money he promises you or how much creative freedom you think you're getting. You're not. Eventually they will send you to the Dota mines. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to go to the Dota mines. Your hopes and dreams will go away forever. Fucking In the Valley of the Gods is now on indefinite hold. It's never coming out because you sold your soul to Gabe Newell. Don't do it. He's untrustworthy. The man is shifty and untrustworthy. He is probably a snitch. Almost certainly a coward. We don't like him, folks. We don't like him.
Like, what really set me off was when I realized, like, oh wow, Valve hasn't done anything ever, is when someone pointed out that Team Fortress 2 has not had an update in years.
Team Fortress 2 exists in the exact same hell as everything else that Valve makes because, like, the alleged final comic has been delayed, 10 times.
Yeah, the artist has come out and said, like, yeah, we're not working on it.
You're not working on it right now. And again, this is what I mean when I say that, like, you can go to work for Valve and suddenly find your creative abilities just sapped away and you kind of fall into a black hole and no one ever hears from you again because Makani is the artist who does the Team Fortress comics, and it's a weird thing to say, she was a really prolific Harry Potter fan artist for a really long time, which is why I know about her.
Her art, like, her art style is so distinct that, like, you see her fan art and you're like, oh, that's her. That's the Team Fortress 2 girl.
That's the Team Fortress 2 chick. She did a lot of really great Harry Potter fan art back in the day, back when Harry Potter was cool. It's okay. We all used to think that was a thing. It's not anymore, but, it's fine. She had really good art. It was extremely distinctive. She did all kinds of cool stuff. She made fan art. She got a job with Valve to make the comics. And what do you know? Now they're not working on it again because Valve is where dreams go to die. It might take a while, sure. You might think, like, yeah, I'm working for Valve. I'm making good money. I'm making a video game. I'm making In the Valley of the Gods or Half-Life Alyx or Half-Life 3. If you're Mark Laidlaw, that poor bastard. You think you're going to go work for Valve and you're going to make the next big thing. And then slowly you just realize that, like, no, you're not making the next big thing. You're not making anything. You'll never make anything. You exist to support Steam and do things for Dota. That's it.
You'll never work in this town again.
It's horrible. I hate it. My hate for Valve. Like, at first I was just like, it was like, haha, Valve can't count to 3. And I was like, that's a funny joke. And then you start thinking about it more. And there was, like, this writer who wrote for In the Valley of the Gods and who is now not writing for In the Valley of the Gods, which is pretty dire. He did writing for Campo Santo, and he was basically like, yeah, this, like, crushed one of my dreams. And I was like, oh.
Oh, it's like that, huh?
It's like that. And it's just so fucking, like, tragic.
Like, I don't play TF2 anymore, but I did for, like, a while, like, for years ago. And there was like a Twitter thread somewhere where someone was like, yeah, a lot of this stuff still isn't fixed.
Yeah, like they'll never fix it.
A lot of very basic, like, menu navigation and, like, getting into maps and, like, getting into servers is all still super busted and inefficient looking and, like, really bare bones. Like, there's no UI.
Right.
And it's like, oh, that's never getting fixed. And Team Fortress 2 is still a very active game.
People still play it on the reg, but no, they just don't want to
it's just
anymore.
There's no work being done on it anymore.
There's no work being done on it or on anything right now. And it's so fucking...
Yeah.
It's just tragic, man, because it's different than, like, just reaching into, like, my video game stories, like, repository. Like, what EA did to Dead Rising, right? That sucks, but, like, in a different way. Because at least EA had the decency to put a bullet in it and be like, we're just not making it anymore.
Right.
You know? Like, fuck EA. I mean, that's, like, the oldest adage in the world, of course. It's like, fuck EA. But, like, at least EA doesn't leave you in limbo. It doesn't leave you kind of just hanging and waiting forever.
Yeah, EA just kills you.
It just kills you. And it's like, okay, cool, you killed me, but at least I'm dead. At least I'm not waiting...
Yeah.
Like, existing in that horrible Half-Life. Hey, look at that.
Yeah, there you go.
Existing in that horrible Half-Life state where you're just waiting for something to go wrong or waiting for something bad to happen, but it never happens, and that's almost worse than the bad thing happening, you know?
I'm honestly surprised Valve even made a statement. Because it's like the bit in World War Z where they're like, yeah, North Korea just vanished.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my god.
Valve
absolutely.
is just like that, where it's like, we don't know what's going on in there anymore, but it's bad, and we don't want to find out. So I'm like surprised someone at Valve popped out of the manhole and like said we are not working on this game instead of just saying nothing.
And I mean, because that's usually standard fare, and it's just like they want to convince people that like they're working on Alex, but they're not.
You fucking you go to Valve HQ, and it's just this empty field, and there's like an old man who's like, well, there hasn't been a Valve HQ here for 50 years.
No, but sir, I gave Gabe Newell a ride home last night from Valve HQ. What are you talking about?
Why, Mr. Newell passed on these 20 years ago.
And yet you still have his sweater in the back of your car.
Cuts to you like kneeling in front of a tombstone with Gabe Newell on it.
He died right after Half-Life 2 came out. You go home, your Steam library is just gone. You just dreamed it all. Oh my god, that's exactly what it is. Steam never exists. Or Valve never existed. There's only Steam. Oh god, that's horrible. Fuck. I hate it. I hate it. Justice for Campo Santo. There. God.
So there was another Nintendo Direct that happened.
Oh no.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Mr. Sakurai presents Byleth.
There was only one wrong answer, and you picked it.
So, okay. Alright. I'm not gonna say Byleth is a good pick. I'm not gonna say they're on the level of fucking Terry Bogard, or Joker, or Banjo and Kazooie, or Hero. It's fine. It's the protagonist of the most popular Fire Emblem to happen in recent years.
Sure.
Every protagonist gets in. It's fine. They've got a cool moveset. They've got all the weapons. They don't have a down B counter. It's fine.
But is it though?
There are tons of worse picks it could have been.
You know, I just want to say I'm Hose, and I'm mad. Okay? Hose is mad. I'm Hose. I'm mad. I'm salty. I don't like it. I hate it. I hate it. It's just like the smart thing to do is to start Fighter Pass 2 with Byleth.
There are 6 more characters coming.
But this is such a wet fart of a way to end the first Fighter Pass.
It would have been this. There's no good place to put Byleth.
Because nobody wants Byleth.
Because like they said, like, we're done with the picks. We announced the picks like last year. Like, we already had that worked. We're all working on them already. Like, they're already done. So it's like, but like, you can't put them in the middle. because that would kill the hype for the last two. Mm-hmm. You can't put them at the start because then no one would be interested. Like, no matter what, like, they were gonna get in no matter what. It might as well be now, right before the announcement of 6 more characters. People are, like, doomsaying, like, this is gonna be, like, this is such a down note, as if one middling character negates fucking Terry Bogard and Banjo and Kazooie.
Yeah, but I'm still mad. I still wanted a better character.
It's fine. It's
I know,
fine.
but still.
You know who would have been worse?
Who?
Any of the lords.
Yeah.
Because people are mad about Byleth. Right. Think about fucking Edelgard stands if Dimitri was playable.
Oh, God, you're right.
Think about Dimitri stands if Edelgard was playable.
Oh, God, you're right. You're so right. That's the worst fucking option I've ever heard.
Byleth is perfect because Byleth is exactly like Super Skrull in Marvel. Yeah. Where we can't put all of the characters in, so we need one character that represents them. So it's Byleth with their weapons, and there you go. There you go. Look, you can pretend it's Edelgard. You can pretend it's Dimitri and Claude.
There's color palettes for all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, God, you're right. Fuck.
Yeah, like, when I thought about that, I'm like, oh, Byleth is fine. This is okay. This is okay, actually.
I just wish, if I had, like I said, if they had started Fighter Pass 2 with Byleth, it'd been like, okay, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, fine, there's 5 more after this. Of course, Byleth is getting in, like you said.
Right.
But it's just like, they were like, yeah, a Joker getting in is like, we're trying to say like a bunch of new, we're going to try a bunch of like really unexpected shit. Byleth is the most expected fucking answer.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying it's like an excellent pick. It's probably one of the weakest picks on this roster of fucking 80 plus by now. But it's fine. It is
stupid assholes. Nobody wanted Byleth. That's all I have to say.
Byleth isn't even the worst Fire Emblem character in Smash.
That dubious honor goes to Corrin for sure.
Corrin, Lucina, and Chrom are way worse than Byleth.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Byleth is basically just a Devil May Cry character.
She is, well, yeah. You want Dante just play as Edelgard Byleth because she has a bunch of weapons.
I know. But still, I just wanted, and it's not even, okay, it is slightly that I wanted Dante really, really badly. Like, okay, yeah, fine, I'll cop to that. But also, I mean, like, there's so many other options that would have been better too. It's just like, man.
I mean, but like, people are like fucking doomsaying like this is like a sign of the fall of Ultimate.
It's good. You can say the Gigaboots guys.
It's the Gigaboots guys who are normally
it's the Gigaboots guys. You can say that.
Normally, like, pretty reasonable when it comes to shit like this, and usually they're like haha joking, jokey jokes, whatever. Right. But like legit, like fucking Phil and Dan were like, I'm not looking forward to Fighter Pass 2 now. And I know. Come the fuck on.
Chill, it's fine. It's fine.
It's one mediocre character. They're not gonna like Phil was like, oh, it's gonna be the 3 Pokemon starters and the 3 houses lords, and it's like not in like a joking way.
Right, yeah.
It's like fucking come the fuck on.
Chill out. I think this pick sucks. Like, I'm way more negative towards this pick than you. I think this pick sucks, but it's also like there's 6 more characters.
Yeah,
it's just a bad pick. I'm gonna keep making fun. I'm gonna keep making fun of how bad this pick is, and if you're like if you post hoes mad at me, I'm gonna show up at your house and burn it down. But like,
okay, so like the thing is, there's a difference between I'm really not excited about this pick, and the people who are like legit hose mad.
Yeah, like, absolutely.
Hose mad is for that one fucking guy who went on like an essay that talks about how like this is unfair to Xenosaga fans. Like, shut the fuck up.
You're a hose and you're for real mad. Like,
shut the fuck up.
Shut up. Like, don't be so dramatic about your fucking fighting game.
Byleth is just a commercial for Fire Emblem. Oh, like Joker's not a commercial for Persona.
Yeah, like, Calm down.
Wow,
like,
wow.
what the fuck do you think Hero was, if not a way to get the West interested in Dragon
comes
Quest?
out the same time that Dragon Quest XI comes out on Switch. What a weird coincidence.
It's crazy. I don't know. Oh,
man. It's okay to be like, oh wow, really, you're gonna follow Terry Bogard with this? But like, but also like, come on.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. It's just a shitty pick.
Yeah,
it is a shitty pick.
Yeah, if fucking the protagonist of one of the best-selling Fire Emblem, like most beloved Fire Emblem games in recent history, is the worst pick in this list, think about how fucking good this list is. God,
you just said... I'm still just, like, imagining... You know how, like, you sometimes imagine an argument and you get yourself mad just by thinking of the argument?
Yeah.
I am imagining the Twitter argument that if Edelgard got in over Dimitri and vice versa, I'm, like, imagining that argument, and I'm already considering deleting my Twitter.
It would be... The Fire Emblem Twitter, like, landscape would be a wasteland. It would be
just a bombed out
wasteland.
It would be the war phase from Three Houses.
God, it would be the most like horrendous vitriol being spat on both sides, even if it was Claude, because then Dimitri stands and Edelgard stands would join forces,
which is even worse. and like honestly, okay, small tangent real fast, we're gonna get real for a minute here. If Claude had gotten in, Golden Deer fans probably suck more than anybody else in the Fire Emblem fandom. And I'll tell you... No, I'm not done. I'll tell you why. It's because every single Golden Deer fan is a fucking Manic Pixie Dream Girl for Fire Emblem. Like, they're all like, we're so quirky, we're so goofy, we don't care about anything, we're the Golden Deer fans, we're funny. And it's like, you have the worst lord in the game. Shut the fuck up.
It's true. It's actually
You have the worst lord in the game. Claude is a nothing character. You're not that cool.
You have the side story lord in your game.
Shut up. Edelgard is way cooler than Claude. And, like, no. Claude is such a last minute addition just because they wanted to call it Three Houses instead of Two Houses. Okay? That's it. That's why. Hate to break it to you guys. Alright? Like, Golden Deer fans suck. You're all annoying. Every single Golden Deer fan is an annoying theater kid.
It's true. It's 100% true.
It's true. It's so true. So, that's my hot fire take about Fire Emblem.
But still, like, fucking Dimitri and Edelgard stands going at it because one of them got in.
No. It would have been like I said, I'm already considering deleting my Twitter just because of the hypothetical option.
It would have been the worst ever.
Absolutely insufferable. Like, no. Horrible. Horrible to think about. The amount of, like, woke scolding on both sides makes me want to throw up, you know? Like, the people who get really, really mad at Edelgard and the people who are like, Dimitri murders women, which is absolutely top 10 post of, like, last decade. Like, came in at the last fucking minute and is, like, top 10 shittiest posts on Twitter.
Every fucking Edelgard stan against Dimitri stans is literally verbatim the dialogue between Edelgard and Dimitri where he's like, must you continue to kill? And she's like, must you continue to re-kill?
And reconquer? Shut up.
Both of you shut up.
And, like, Dimitri, like, people who are, like, really hardcore Dimitri fans are just like, Edelgard is the worst, she's a fascist, blah, blah, blah. Shut up. She's just kind of aggressive, just like Dimitri. Chill out. You just like Dimitri. You just like Dimitri more because, like, he's sadder about it. And that's fine. That's valid. That's why I like Dimitri more. He's just a sadder character. I like that more. You know? It's cool. You're not, like, enlightened just because you like an anime character. You fucking nerds. I'm gonna stick you in a locker. Give me your lunch money. Like, ridiculous. So, yeah. Anyways, you're right. When you think about it like that, it is actually true. Like, how much worse it could have been.
We dodged that bullet. So, I mean, I'm counting this as a W.
Woo! Count that one as an absolute win.
And then, after the trailer, we got our peek at the DLC for Three Houses.
You mean characters from Bleach?
We got the cast of Bleach is joining as the fourth basement house.
The basement house. Basement house!
So, they showed off the characters and like a little bit about their personalities and stuff. Not that you couldn't tell that just by looking at them what their
oh my God,
what their whole things are going to be about. But like, so the way it's going to work, if I'm reading this correctly, is that it's a side story that you probably pick from the main menu, and it's like it's like a self-contained thing because it's a restricted cast. And you get all 3 lords in your party.
What?
So it's like, it's only during the school phase.
Okay.
And then you complete that. And I guess it's probably just going to be like a bunch of missions, like whatever conflict the Ashen Wolves
fucking
are
basement
in.
have.
Yeah, whatever conflict they're in. And then once you beat it, you can do something in your main game to get those characters on your team.
Huh.
So it's like a self-contained story before the war.
Right.
And then when you beat it, you get to unlock the characters.
That's weird.
So yeah, I guess that's like a way to do it so that you can get them all no matter what house you pick.
So you don't have to do the fucking intro of 3 houses for the 6th time?
Yeah.
It's misery. Let's be real for a minute here.
Right. But
yeah.
but it's also like, I don't know, you could have folded it in as like, do you want to investigate the basement on your day off?
Yeah, but I guess if you're already really far, like if you're already in the war phase, then you gotta beat the game
and then start over. Yeah,
you gotta start over again. I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, it's just really weird. It's just not what I was expecting for like plot DLC at all.
And granted, both of us like were in the wrong to expect it to be a 5th route. You know,
I mean, well, this is just new characters. Isn't there something else coming after this?
No,
or is this the last one?
This is the story. This is the story campaign. Like, it's gonna be a self-contained story. Like, this is story DLC.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's just... I mean, of course, I never really expected it to be a 5th route. I was really more expecting, like, changes to the routes, because this is such, like, a strange way to do it. Considering, like, all the stuff in 3 houses that would be better served by more content, like Edelgard's entire second half of the route. This is just such a strange choice to make, considering how unfinished Crimson Flower is. And how, like, Azure Moon is, like, it kind of just ends, like, really abruptly. Like, with, like, lots of plot threads still hanging, and then you have like the Claude route, which is the most complete, but Claude sucks. Sorry.
I guess I kind of applaud them for sticking to their guns and not doing like a Unify route,
I get that.
You know, Conquest and Birthright and whatever did. But like also like, I don't know. I feel like in this case it might have been justified to like have DLC that blends some of the routes.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems weird that, like, there's no option, for example, to recruit Claude in Azure Moon.
Yeah.
You know? Considering he's just kind of like, you know...
He's like, bye.
I must go now. My planet needs me. And then Claude died on the way back to his home planet.
Yeah.
You know? Like, stuff like that's just kind of, like, weird. It's like, there were definitely this game more so than, like, Fire Emblem Conquest and Birthright. Like, really... It didn't feel like a cop-out. It actually would have felt, like, more logical, I guess.
I guess I'm kind of disappointed that this won't lead to a different conclusion.
Yeah.
You know?
Or even just more stuff. Like, again, like, fixing Edelgard's route would have been nice. Giving her, like, an actual, like an actual time skip cutscene. You know, she doesn't have a cutscene whenever you come back from the time skip. It's just dialogue.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. All
yeah.
Right. Okay.
Weird, right? So, like, you know, stuff like that. It's just like, man, it's just like, it's weird. It's just weird to me that Claude is such an... I can't keep shitting on Claude, man. I'm going to. Just for 2 seconds, though. It's just weird to me that Claude is such a nothing character, but, like, everything happens in his fucking route. And it's, like, completely detached from, like, the interesting parts of 3 houses. Like, the war shit. It's like, if that was all coordinated better, it would have been better. It was like, that's what I was really hoping for.
It's like we said in the episode, why is Claude at the Battle at Gronder Field?
Yeah.
Why is he there? Why is he fighting them?
What thematic purpose does he serve?
Why is he fighting them?
Yeah, it's weird. It's just like, and he gets like all like the big, like the settling shit with like Nemesis and stuff like that. Like that's all in the Golden Deer route. I think technically it's all kind of in Silver Snow as well, the church route. But like, it's just really strange to have like the two, like, I guess that's the way they make the Golden Deer more like relevant, but it gives the game the feeling of being unrefined.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, I guess it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. We'll see how this DLC goes. I'm still kind of interested in it, but I do think the white uniforms look like shit.
Hopefully they'll also get like the same DLC outfits that the rest of the team gets, so like you can probably swap that out. And I
hope so.
And we haven't seen their war uniforms yet, so maybe those look
skip
cooler.
Outfits.
Yeah,
maybe because like I said, the Garrick Mock uniform just kind of in itself is kind of bad.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe this will be better. I do want to know why there's a bunch of kids living in the basement.
I want to know about that too.
Just sounds really weird. It's a really strange way to approach DLC, but we'll see. Who knows? It's fine. Anything else?
Oh, we've got a few more articles here. Okay. So I'll get some of these really quick. So you know how I said it could have been worse with Byleth?
Yeah.
Here's worse. Dragon Ball FighterZ DLC character Goku Ultra Instinct announced.
No! Stop it! Stop it!
So guess what?
What?
There are now 6. There's
6 Gokus?
Base, Super Saiyan Blue. There's Goku Black, Goku GT, and now Goku Ultra Instinct. So you can do a full 3-on-3 fight with
versus
all
Goku.
Gokus. And this isn't even like, Vegito is a Goku and Bardock is a Goku.
No!
Like, no, these are all characters named Goku.
That's so bad. What a way to kill the hype.
Fucking Fighters had one of the best base rosters for like any solid DBZ game ever. Mm-hmm. It's got everyone you would want, Mm-hmm. It's got characters with cool gimmicks, like Ginyu has the Ginyu Force as his assists, Mm-hmm. 18 has 17 with her. Like all of these good things, and the DLC was Goku and Vegeta Blue, right? Like, fine, mm-hmm. That's fine, that works. They're special, characters.
Yeah.
And then, like, almost every DLC pick has just been bad. It's been
all of them have, except for Bardock.
Except for
really,
Bardock and Super Broly.
But that's really just because we stand Super Broly around here. It's not even that like he's like that good of a pick.
Yeah, and Videl, like it's Bardock, Videl, and Super Broly are like the ones that I'm like, that's a good pick.
That's a good pick, and it's otherwise it's just like, what? Why?
Why do we need Vegito and Gogeta? Why can
that not be a costume?
Why do we need base Goku and base Vegeta?
Oh my god, and GT Goku, like from the anime that everybody
Goku?
Hates. Yeah, it's bad. It's just, again, this is like, talk about killing the hype.
Right?
Like, just obliterating. It's just, I do like, somebody said, I think it was the Gigaboots guys, that they can't add female fighters because, like, in the course of the fight, they'll just end up cooking dinner for it's, I'm fucking right.
Yeah.
They're fucking right. Come on. They did 18 dirty.
Like, there are so many Dragon Ball Z characters that are good characters.
Yes!
Fucking, like I said, the base roster has everyone you need. It's got 16, it's got Tien, it's got Yamcha. Like,
yeah, like, total unexpected, like, cool guys.
Why do we have Ultra Instinct Goku and not Roshi? Why?
Oh my god, I know.
Why don't we have fucking, Kefla?
Yeah, oh yeah!
Why
don't we have any of that? Why don't we have, like, one of my, like, my little dream pick, the one I always want, just because I think it'd be fun and cool, is Bulma in a mech suit.
Yeah.
I think, like, you could totally add mech suit Bulma, and it would be great, It would be super fun. It's just, like, there's so many options, and you keep picking the worst ones. You just pick the same character. Oh, this really is like a thing that burned me out on DBZ. Like when we were like kind of getting into the hype of it, it was just like I was playing DBZ content and I was really enjoying it, and then I just kept realizing like there's so many other cool things, and I keep having to deal with Goku, who is like fine. Like I'm not gonna go into hating that character as hard as like some dorks on Twitter do. Like don't be that guy. You know, don't be those idiots on Twitter, people. But I don't particularly like Goku. I think he's fine, you know? Like, he's not in my top 10, for sure, of, like, DBZ characters who I like. So it's just, like, and I guess it's just, I mean, I know it's, like, a popularity thing, but, man, come on. If you wanted to have, like, UI Goku, then don't put in GT Goku.
Yeah.
Like, the character from an anime that nobody likes, you know? God.
GT Goku feels so egregious too because he's the only one who's not from Z or Super.
Yeah, what a weird addition. Like, it's just kid
like
Goku.
if they wanted to put like GT Goku and Pan,
sure,
like, that would have been cool. Or like if they wanted to do that, or like one of the evil Shenrons, like that would have been cool. But like no, it's just GT Goku.
Yeah,
and we got fucking Vegito and Gogeta when there are so many other movie villains that could have been in too.
Yeah.
I hate it.
It's so, I mean, it really is just like a joke at this point. Like, you leaned into the meme, and now it's just like, this is like actual doomsaying. You know how we're like, don't get excited for like Fighter Pass 2 for like Ultimate, which is stupid. This is like actual, like, no, I'm not excited for any further Fighters news.
I haven't been really like excited for a DLC character in Fighters since Videl. Like, I don't think I've downloaded anyone since Videl.
Yeah, it's just kind of like Broly was a cool addition, but again, that's just because we like Broly, man.
And Super Broly's cool because he's got Johnny Young Bosch's voice now, and that's great.
Because they sent Vic, what's his face, to hell.
Yeah,
Yay.
like that's so we've got the cooler Broly.
Yeah, you don't have to fool with the other one. He's so much smaller too. We love a boy. We love one boy. I know he's the same age as Goku and Vegeta. Shut up, he's my boy. That's my son.
But like, just like there's like so many other characters you could have picked for this.
It's such
you're going with. There's so many other characters in the universe tournament arc you could have picked, and you just picked another Goku.
You picked another Goku. You didn't pick Roshi getting to actually do things again. You just picked Goku again, man. Such a shame. Well.
Where's our Mr. Satan? Like, come on. I know you're hiding him.
God.
Put him in this
You're
game.
hiding. He's your Dan. You gotta put him in. Come on.
Make him good. Make him, like, put him in the game, and then someone find tech for Mr. Satan. Please.
That makes him, like, super good and, like, tournament viable.
Please find Hercule tech.
I want to see Mr. Satan at EVO. That's what I want.
I want fucking Sonic Fox to start running like Bardock, GT, Goku, and Satan.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Oh, God.
So yeah, that was just like whatever. We also got some other bummer news. Well, I don't know if this is really bummer news. PlayStation will not participate in E3 2020.
They didn't do that last year. But I mean, like, they technically didn't, but they had a press conference at the same time, which is what I assume they're going to do.
This is like, boy, E3 is kind of losing its steam, isn't it? I
really hope. But I mean, like, people always say that E3 is dying and it always comes back.
But it wasn't 2 years. Like, last year's E3 sucked, but the one before it was great.
Yeah.
This one, but like, if this continues, like, again, it's going to be Microsoft. Mm-hmm. And Bethesda are like your headliners, and that sucks.
That does suck. But I mean, you know, they'll almost certainly have like a digital thing.
If they're smart, the PS5 will be announced.
They'll basically do their Sony Direct the way that Nintendo does their E3 Nintendo Direct. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I'm not that worried about it. It just kind of sucks to not all have it in one place the way it used to.
It sucks that it's not Sony at E3, you know? Like, it's not going to be a Sony rep getting in front of a stage in front of a big crowd and like talking about games and stuff.
Yeah, and that stuff's just kind of fun. It's cool.
It's fun. Like, sometimes it sucks and sometimes it's actually really fun.
Yeah, you know.
But like, the only upside is we're gonna see the 5.
Oh yeah, we're absolutely getting 5 for sure.
Yeah, they're not at E3 this year because they want to show the 5 off.
Oh yeah, they're gonna do a press conference and they're gonna show off the 5 and they're probably gonna drop the price if I had to guess. They might I could honestly see them. The reason they're actually holding off on this year's E3 is they're gonna wait to see when Microsoft's press conference is at E3. And
do the price accordingly.
They're gonna do the price. They're gonna announce the price after Microsoft does theirs, the way they did last time.
I would fucking love it if Sony sniped Microsoft again.
I mean, Sony does that all the. They did it with the PS1. They really famously did it with the PS1 to basically just like toast the shit out of Nintendo and the 64. This is back in like 1995, and I think I've told this story on this podcast before, but whatever. This isn't like the E3 at 1995, back when E3 was like really small. It was just like, it was like an actual press show.
Like closet.
It was like a closet, and it was like actually just like an industry show for like journalists and like shareholders. It wasn't really for like fans.
For fans, yeah.
Yeah, and they got up on stage, and it was after, like, you know, Nintendo had done their thing. They got up on stage, and the CEO at the time, which I don't think it was Ken Kutaragi. I think it was whoever came before Ken Kutaragi. Got up on stage and literally just like walked up to the podium and leans into the microphone and said $2.99, and the room went fucking insane. You can see that clip on YouTube to this day, and it is like a really famous little thing. It is basically what established Sony as like their dominance. They are famous, what I'm saying, for sniping people at E3. It's their shtick. It's how they basically sold the PS4, was the whole how to transfer games between PlayStation 4s. It's just handing off a disc.
I love that you can see the point his heart breaks in half.
Yeah.
You can frame by frame go through the PS4 launch trailer and be like, oh, that's the moment they kicked Microsoft in the dick.
Yeah, that's exactly the moment. And you can see from the video they probably shot that in an afternoon.
Probably, yeah. They scrambled that together as soon as they saw the booze.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They were instantly like, just like, get a camera together, clean up somebody's office, get me a video game. We're gonna do this as fast as possible. And it was a 5-second clip. And that 5 seconds is literally what sold the PS4 over Xbox One. It's incredible. And that's like what Sony has bested.
They probably watched the announcement of the Xbox X at the Game Awards and were fucking salivating.
Oh, it's like hyenas waiting for something to die.
They're announcing it with a fucking Hellblade game.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna make
so easy.
We're gonna make so much money.
I'm betting, if I had to guess, we should do E3 bingo this year, by the way.
We should.
We'll make E3 bingo and we'll hand those cards out. And maybe even make like multiple cards the way that they do sometimes. And that way it'll be like more legit. But I'm gonna bet they're gonna show the console, give us a price, and show Horizon 2. Like, sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn. They'll probably show that. I
bet it'll be Horizon. I'll bet it will be. I feel like it will be Horizon. I want it to be Spider-Man 2. Because they've been using Spider-Man as their demo for the PS5 solid state drive.
That's true.
Remember, that's one of the first things they did was, hey, here's Spider-Man's load times on the PS5.
It's like a second instead of like 15. Yeah. That is true.
I think they might be building up for that.
Yeah.
It's either going to be, if I had to put money on one of them, it'll be God of War. Yeah. It'll be The Last of Us 2 Enhanced.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 or Horizon Zero Dawn 2.
I'm only saying Horizon because Horizon has had the longest time to develop. Horizon came out in 2017. And then God of War came out in 2018. Spider-Man came out in 2018.
End of 2018, yeah.
It's only a year.
Well, near the end, yeah. Like September.
Yeah. So, like, that's really only like a year and a half worth of dev time. It just doesn't seem feasible. it seems like Horizon has the largest window to actually get it done and be quality, which is what Sony is aiming for next gen. So if I had to gamble and like actual put money down in like Las Vegas, I would say Horizon Zero Dawn 2 is going to get announced to go with the PS5. It'll be like one of the big launch titles kind of thing.
And I would be totally okay with that.
I'm
because
totally fine with that. Holy shit!
It's not on the docket, but Horizon PC port is coming, and that's
great.
That's
awesome. Good for them. Good for them. I mean, they've reached total market saturation with Horizon at this point. They've sold all the copies of Horizon they can. They're gonna put it on PC and make more money that way.
I am salivating at the idea of Horizon with mods.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so with cool. Like fucking a good graphics card and shit.
Yeah. Now make a VR version.
Yes.
And you could sell me one of your fucking Sony VR headsets if you made like a VR version of Horizon. Like easy.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. But yeah, no. They're gonna be at E3. They're just not going to be physically at E3. They'll just do a press conference like the day after E3 or something, like always.
I am just kind of like sad at like seeing like the conference E3 itself kind of like
I know
fizzling.
I know. I really hope they do. I don't know. I mean, they could turn it into more of a PAX thing to really, because PAX still gets game announcements and stuff.
Yeah, PAX is still a totally legit place to announce stuff.
Yeah, they get trailers and talks and conferences and all that. You could turn E3, especially like just going off of like nostalgia, like for people like you and me who've always wanted to go to E3, you know, you could turn E3 into more of like a proper fan show. And that would get it back up to like the thing where it's like people actually want to have press conferences there to have like the physical excitement of like fans and word of mouth and all that stuff. We'll see. People like to doomsay about E3 every 10 years or so, and E3 always comes back. I don't know. I feel like E3 is such a staple. But I mean, you know, things change, of course. Nothing lasts forever.
It's same thing as like magazines becoming websites and stuff like that. It's just like, oh, the thing, the way this thing exists now is slowly becoming obsolete.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, who knows? Maybe it'll come back. People like physical engagement with their media.
It'll reinvent itself in some way, hopefully. Like, I feel like if Microsoft leaves, then they'll have to reinvent themselves somehow to get those companies back.
Yeah, and I mean, like, my God, they could pull it off as easily. I mean, my God, look how big Comic-Con is now.
Yeah.
You know, like, all the big announcements happen at Comic-Con for, like, superhero movies and shit like that.
Yeah.
Movies in general. Get their announcements at, like, Comic-Con. So, I mean, there's ways to reinvent it and make it better and kind of bring those companies back into the fold. It's just a matter of what they decide to do. So we'll see.
All right, so we've got two more here. This one will be hopefully not that long, but Devil May Cry 3's Switch debut includes a new seamless style switching feature.
Can't wait to break this game over my knee.
They are folding in the regular, just plain style switching from 4 and 5 into Dante's moveset in 3.
Yep.
This is the first of 3 announcements for the Devil May Cry Switch port.
Yes.
And this one alone clearly makes it the best version of Devil May Cry 3. So
it is the best version of Devil May Cry 3, although it is funny because at this point, for you to enjoy like Devil May Cry 3 as like hard, the way it's meant to be played, you kind of have to like default play it on hard. Like once you have to beat it on like regular mode. But like the thing is that Devil May Cry 3 is not balanced at all for style switching.
I feel like this is going to be like a thing. Like let me check to make sure, but I think this is just something you can toggle.
It probably is.
I don't think it's like permanently on.
Yeah.
I think it's
called
just like
freestyle.
Yeah, I think it's just a feature you can turn on.
Yeah, it's called like freestyle mode. I'm sure it's something you can turn on and off.
Yeah.
But it is funny because this is based off a mod. I don't know if they like directly took it from the mod, but this already existed as a mod for the PC version.
It also says the system works with Doppelganger and Quicksilver, so that's cool.
How is that going to work? Is it going to be like
probably like how like
Dark Slayer?
Yeah, where you just double tap probably left and right to unlock it to switch to that.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, so that's cool. Matt got on Twitter and was like, hey, we've got 3 big announcements for Devil May Cry on this date, or on the 16th, and then the 31st, and then sometime in February.
Right before it comes out for...
Yeah.
Right before it comes out for Switch. That's the last announcement.
And so I was thinking about this, and I'm like, holy shit, I think this makes Devil May Cry 3 the best Devil May Cry? And then I thought about it, and I said, no, that's not quite true. And then I thought of what could make it the best Devil May Cry.
This is what you were texting me about earlier.
Because I had a flash of inspiration today.
Okay.
So here's what one of the announcements could be that would make this the best Devil May Cry.
Okay.
For Nero. They put a PS2 quality model of For Nero into Devil May Cry 3.
That is interesting. See, I'm leaning more toward just because the model already exists and the move list already exists. So it'd be really easy to just add a few more moves to create more depth. Lady would be good too. Yeah, Lady already has a player model because she's a boss. So she has like a full move set the way like a playable character would. She has kind of like the bones of her finger quotes devil trigger in DMC4, which is just like explosives.
Yeah.
It's just like really powerful explosives. It kind of works the way like DT explosion works in DMC3. Her DT is basically that. So she kind of already has like the skeleton of being a playable character already there, and so it would just be a matter of adding a few extra things because she has like traversal mechanics because she has her grappling hook built into Clean Anne. She has the ability for some kind of a DT. She's got lots of guns. You really could. I don't know how much. I mean, obviously, I hate to say like it would be easy because I don't know anything about making video games. But I feel like that would be easier than making a whole new model and having to basically mocap an entirely new model. Although that would be cool. I mean, don't get me wrong, that would be really cool.
I don't think it's necessarily feasible, but I'm like, what would make this better than 5? Adding Nero.
Adding Nero
to Devil May Cry 3 would make it better than Devil May Cry 5.
Sure, absolutely. I think that would be really interesting. I would love it if if I had to guess what the next thing, because they did drop the whole, they said we're very motivated. Like you said, to make it better than DMC5, it would have to be like, if they added, like, you know how Virgil falls in a hole after the Virgil 2 fight and then just kind of like reappears at the Arkham fight, and it's like, where the fuck have you been? Ideally, it would be like a campaign about like, where the fuck have you been kind of thing. That ain't gonna happen.
No.
As cool as that would be.
It would be cool.
And it would definitely make it better than DMC5, but it's not gonna happen.
No.
But what I bet is gonna happen is they might give him an expanded moveset. Maybe bring in a few moves from, because like his moveset in DMC3 is pretty limited. Like it's definitely not as fleshed out as his iteration in 4, or especially not as fleshed out as like Dante's in 3. It's pretty limited. Like, it's fun, but like I don't really like playing as him in 3 as much as I like playing as him in 4. So I could see maybe them bringing more stuff in from that,
right,
to be like, here's like a more expanded version of Virgil.
Yeah, I think that's the most realistic option, is just a better Virgil campaign.
Yeah. That would be really cool. That would be really cool.
That would be like, that's probably like almost a done deal, is like a better Virgil, because they were really motivated, and like
exactly.
Like it wouldn't be, you wouldn't need to get Dan Southworth to do anything.
Right, yeah.
To add more moves to Virgil.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, the model already exists, and you just have to program in new moves and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's one announcement. I want to be hopeful that the February announcement is going to be Dante trailer.
I don't... God, it's so... Because they said it specifically for DMC3, is the thing.
Right.
Like, the announcement they said is specifically... And, I mean, you could make the argument that if it's a Dante trailer, then...
If it's 3 Dante.
If it's 3 Dante, then yeah, of course, that technically counts. Right. But I don't know. I have no idea what this could be.
See, that's the thing is, I can't think of what they can build on in 3 that, like, besides Virgil, what really needs expanding in 3?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like, playable lady, maybe?
But that's like building an entire thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they would do that for a Switch port, you know?
Yeah,
like,
I
realistically, like, style switching is obvious, right? Like,
yeah,
okay,
that's easy. That already exists.
Yeah. Expanded moveset for Virgil, that's another obvious one. It's the same thing. It's building off of what already exists.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. You can't do any cutscenes because you'd have to get, the characters back in the booth, and I don't know if you do that.
Because, for
also,
one, Dan Southworth and Ruben Langdon's voices have changed
since
then. They're, like, way older now. They don't sound the same.
Yeah, so, and wasn't Lady recast anyway?
Lady was recast.
Yeah, so, like, that doesn't work. So, like, it can't be anything, like, story-wise, and, like, the most likely option is, like, adding...
It would have to be... And the thing is that I feel like the one that's going to happen in February is going to be the biggest one, right? Because it's right before the game launches, so it's to build the maximum amount of hype.
Yeah.
But, like, what?
What could it be?
I have no idea. I don't think, especially now that we got this Smash announcement in fucking January, we're not going to... I just don't think we're going to get the Dante trailer in February.
I mean, the Dante trailer, like, he's a done deal, but, like,
Yeah, I know, right? Of course. It just feels like a done deal at this point because they went out of their way to add 6 more fighters.
Yeah, I feel like, although February is pretty close, actually, never mind.
It is really close.
Yeah,
it's 3 weeks away.
Yeah, so maybe not, but, yeah, I really don't know.
All I can think that, like, talking about it now with you is maybe a trailer for the Netflix show. And it turns out to be like a DMC3 adaptation.
Possibly.
I
want to find Matt's exact tweet.
Yes.
Because I want it, like...
The way that I'm remembering it right now is that it's specifically DMC3 news.
Yeah, okay, so Matt, let me see if I can find, like, an article about what he said. Okay. Where, God, he tweeted more.
No!
I need to scroll. Okay, hold on, let me... Okay, so here's the video.
I mean,
okay, well, that's the announcement of the...
Anything?
Okay. Devil May Cry 3 coming...
The tension.
It's all specifically about Devil May Cry 3.
There you go.
So, yeah.
So, it has to be... It can't be... A lot of people are saying, like, whoa, maybe Virgil DLC for 5. No, because it's about 3.
Yeah, it's specifically about 3. And
also, I'm going to tell you guys right now, we're not getting Virgil DLC until Special Edition hits for PS5. Yeah. I already know this. I looked into the future with my third eye, and I saw it.
Like, don't even think about...
Just let it go until Special Edition happens for PS5, because, no. Otherwise, like, the load times are so absurd in that game. That's the only way they're going to do it. We've had this conversation before. Anyways, so it's only for DMC3. The only thing I can think is the Netflix show being a DMC3 adaptation, and they're going to be like, here is a trailer for the game and a trailer for the Netflix show.
Like, the second one will be expanded Virgil move list, and the third one will be a trailer for the show. Yeah. That's all I can think. I feel like that's the only thing that makes sense. No, because this requires more work, is the thing, and we are trying to take out anything that takes too much work. Because all I could think was, like, new weapons. Yeah, I don't think it would be that.
Yeah, because that's more work. They're not going because DMC3 requires mocapping. Like all of that shit in the game. I think all of the moves in the game themselves are mocapped. Just with like animation tweaks, of course. I think they're all mocapped, so that would require more of that, and they're not going to do that.
Right?
Like they're not going to get for a Switch port. They're not going to get somebody in a suit and cap all that out and just do all the work that it takes to integrate No, bad idea. Not happening. Weapon skins, maybe. If we're talking, like, really, really simple shit that, like, is low effort. Costumes, maybe. Costumes doesn't even seem very likely. Weapon skins, maybe, but that just seems like so low energy
unless it's like, here's a bunch of skins for Dante and Virgil as the second one, and then the third one is here's Virgil's expanded move list.
Right.
But
yeah, I guess that could be it.
I don't know, like,
Reveal your secrets to us, Matthew Walker.
I guess we'll know for sure in 10 days, but I'm still just like, I can't think of anything besides expanded Virgil that it could be.
Yeah, it's so... That third one is the mystifying one. Mm-hmm. Maybe some kind of new boss thing?
Like is there a boss rush in 3 already?
There's already a boss rush in 3.
Okay, well, then it can't be that.
I don't know. A different kind of Bloody Palace? Because... like a timed Bloody Palace instead of the Bloody Palace that's in 3 right now.
Co-op Bloody Palace.
Oh, they're not going to add that.
I mean,
that would be cool.
You can already play as Virgil, remember? In the final boss, player 2 can play as Virgil.
Shut the fuck up. No.
No! Okay.
Too cool!
That's the only one I can think of because it requires no new assets, but it's a new feature.
Shut up! Too cool. No, that would get my hopes up too high. I can't do that to myself. That's too cool, Ben!
That might be it.
Maybe. What? Because there is already a co-op mode for DMC3.
Yeah.
Like there's a mod. No,
secret.
Well, no, there's a mod for it that makes it work all the time.
Oh, cool.
And there's videos of it. Of people playing in the Bloody Palace together. Ooh.
I think that feels like the most likely thing that I can think of.
That feels like the most likely thing, yeah.
So I think it'll be expanded Virgil move list, and then the final trailer is, hey, look, you have style switching, you have a big Virgil move list, play as them together in Bloody Palace.
Cool. That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool. That gets my hopes up too high. I can't do that.
Yeah, we'll find out in 10 days whether we're right or wrong.
Oh man, I hope it's new Virgil stuff, man.
Yeah.
Because I really do, like... I tried to clear his campaign in DMC3, and it's just his moveset feels so much more limited versus Dante's, because, like, he only has the one style, and he only has the 3 weapons, so it's just, like, really... And, like, those weapons don't have as many attacks attached to them the way they do in 4. So it just feels, like, really, like, unfinished. Yeah. And obviously, because it was something they added for Special Edition. Mm-hmm. They just added it really quickly. So yeah, that'd be really cool. 10 days, huh?
It'll be skins, and one of them it'll turn Dante and Virgil into Travis and Henry.
That'd be so... Shut the fuck up. You wish. Fucking wish.
I do wish.
That'd be so sick. Shut up. It's not gonna happen. I do wish, though, okay, like, small, like, wish list thing, if they do fix Virgil's campaign in any capacity, can we please not fight Vante? Can we actually just fight Dante? Mm-hmm. Like, can we actually have, like, a Dante boss fight in 3?
Yeah, just a
like,
proper
the 3
Dante fight.
Please. It's not that hard. That's an easy thing you actually could add, so I hope that's the case. Mm-hmm. Anyways.
Alright, one more article. Not really an article, but a cool thing that happened this month. World record Super Mario Bros. Any percent speedrun in 4 minutes, 55 seconds, .646. Set a new record this month.
Awesome.
Cut it down by 0.05 seconds.
That's
and this is...
Those are the margins.
Yeah, this is how narrow it's getting now. Like, this is...
that game has been so highly optimized.
Yeah, like, there's only... So I watched it because it's fucking 5 minutes long. It's, there is only one frame he missed. That, like, to make this, like, a perfect run.
Man.
So, like...
Do you know who the runner is?
What's his name? He's, like, one of the biggest ones. It's,
I'm sure.
Cosmic Kid.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Cosmic.
Man.
Yeah, just, like...
Man.
That's how close we're getting it.
That is... Unless something just fundamentally changes about the run, you basically have hit the wall of what is physically it's possible.
Almost solved now.
It's basically... That's crazy to think of it in the context of, like, this is a puzzle that's been in the process of being solved for 20 years, you know? Like, it basically is, like, almost done at this point. You really could, again, unless some crazy new tech comes up to let you beat the game in fucking 2 minutes, you know?
Right.
Which I doubt. Like, unless something crazy happens, which is always possible. I mean, like, my God.
Stuff can happen all the time.
Of course. But, like, right now, it seems like we are at the limit of what can be done with this game.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
I think that's crazy.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to end it, because that is an extremely cool, very bizarre thing to think about. Like, that we're basically at the end of the line for that speed run is insane. It's really interesting. Huh.
World record set by milliseconds.
Just literal, just the hair.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's interesting. All right.
So that'll do it for this month. Yeah, that was an interesting month.
It never slows down.
So we'll be back to do, like I said, to do Indie Week next week. Thank you for Broke Free for your background music. You can follow me on Twitter at thegorgepodcast. You can follow Sara at radioinactivity. And you can listen to Sarah's other podcast where she plays other games, which she'll tell you about right now.
Hi, I'm in another podcast called Big Gay Nerds, where me and a bunch of cool queer friends get together and we play tabletop games. We try out lots of different systems. We have a lot of fun. We just wrapped up the Star Wars block. I'm not in that one, but it's a really good block because Jonix is an excellent DM. And then we're finally going back to Blades in the Dark, which I will be in, and I'm really looking forward to it. Blades in the Dark is one of my favorite systems. Saturn is an extremely good DM. Basically just a really great game of heists and murder and intrigue, so you should come check us out. We're at Big Gay Nerds on SoundCloud, and you can find the links to the rest of our social media from there. Thanks.
Alright, that'll do it for us.
But really, fuck this Byleth announcement. We're at the end of the podcast, so I can just be like hose mad for a second, because like, hose is mad, man. I just wanted my boy. I wanted my red boy in. I just wanted Dante. Sakurai held up 3 fingers and he thought he was being cute because he's counting 17 and binary. Fuck you, Sakurai.
That's the best one, because it's like, oh, 3 fingers, like 3 houses. No, 17 for the 17th Fire Emblem game.
You are such a... Fuck you, Sakurai. That's what I'll say. You're not cute. You're not clever. All right, holding up 3 fingers like, ooh, 3 Dante. Ooh, I know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. Dante's getting in at this point. Like, you can't change my mind because, like, the demand is so, like, feverish. Mm-hmm. But, like, the little cutesy 3 fingers thing, fuck you. Ooh, so mad. Hose mad. That's me.
Good night, everyone.